But we will be watching TakeOver, and it's a stacked card. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and we should be finding out a little bit more about that tonight. So, yeah, really, really excited for tonight's show. As we said, this is the go-home show for NXT TakeOver. Over on AEW, we've got a women's championship match. We've actually got Riho taking on Nyla Rose. So, we've got a championship match over on AEW. We've got the go-home show for NXT TakeOver Portland. There's a lot going on. Let me jump into the chat, say hello to people. Hello. Sunny Wolf, how you doing? Chalmers. Shout out to LSW and Jake Wrestle News. We've got so much to talk about. There's so much to go through. We've got to run through both shows. We need to talk about the Hall of Fame as well, because I don't know if you've heard, I'm sure most of you have by now, that there's big rumors, borderline confirmed, that there's 2 more entries to this year's Hall of Fame. It's not been confirmed yet by WWE, but it is from a very reliable source. And, they've named a couple of names that's doing the rounds right now on Twitter. So, if you have heard, then obviously you'll know who we're talking about. If not, we'll get to it in a second. I'm just giving people a few moments to come and join the stream. And then I can shout out a few people, and then we can get stuck into some news, rumours, all of that good stuff. I gotta tell you as well, I've got a problem with my eye. Don't know why, but it's got a little pain in it. I do wear contact lenses, and I think one of them has gone in the wrong way round or something. I'm not sure. So hopefully that sorts itself out. I find that if you've got a problem, just ignore it. It'll probably sort itself out. Adam Cole versus Kishida. Johnny Gargano versus Cameron Grimes. Candice versus Dakota Kai. Lio Rush versus Garza tonight. Yeah, Adam Cole Kushida's very interesting because I'm not. Have they announced it or not? I know that Adam Cole was on Twitter and he said that he was in a bad mood and he heard that Kushida had a problem with what happened last week. I don't know if that's going to result in a match. I haven't seen if that's been confirmed, but it seems like it's heading that way. So yeah, Adam Cole Kushida seems like really, really interesting stuff. Candice versus Dakota Kai, I mean, brilliant match. And then, of course, Lio Rush versus Angel Garza. That is a number 1 contenders match. Winner will go on to face Jordan Devlin, I believe. There's some very, very interesting stuff happening tonight. Days, I think it could be Cena versus Goldberg at WrestleMania. Ooh, shout out LSW. Everyone, please like the stream and share. Much appreciated. Thank you, Jake Wrestle News. Appreciate it. As we said, these are slightly different streams. I would hope the community know that now. We like to have a laugh and a joke on Monday, certainly Tuesday with NWA, and on Fridays. But on a Wednesday, it's slightly different. The reason why I say that is because there's 2 shows. There's loads to talk about. We've got to try and cover AEW and WWE NXT and any news all within this one stream, so it doesn't really give us much room to kind of joke around as much. But so Wednesdays are a little bit more serious. We still have a good time, we still have fun, but there's lots to get through. We need to start with the Hall of Fame. So as I was saying, if you know, then you know. If you don't, you're about to find out. The 2 names that have been announced or not confirmed, rumoured, are the Bella Twins and Jushin Thunder Liger. Now, this is really interesting news because Jushin Thunder Liger didn't have that many matches with WWE. I think it might be just the one match that he had against Tyler Breeze at TakeOver a few years ago. But obviously he competed for WCW. Obviously a massive name over in Japan. And amazingly, he retired in ring this year at Wrestle Kingdom, a show that we did a watch along for in January. And then the next night, New Year's Dash, he made his proper farewell. He had his proper retirement ceremony, and we did a watch along for that as well. So we've spoken quite a bit about Jushin Thunder Liger on the channel this year. And it's very fitting that he would go in. He absolutely deserves to go in. I've seen a few people saying this is the WWE Hall of Fame. Why would you put Jushin Thunder Liger in? But, I mean, the WWE Hall of Fame is the biggest of the wrestling Hall of Fames. And I really do feel like someone that excels in wrestling, someone that really does make a difference in wrestling, and is worthy of going into that Hall of Fame. I really do feel like they should. Someone like Jushin Thunder Liger that's obviously been in WCW as well, who WWE now own, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I was amazed to see just a few people. There wasn't loads. I'd say 99.9% of people are over the moon with it. 99.9% of people are really happy that Jushin Thunder Liger's going in. But there was just a very small minority. But you'll find that, won't you, on Twitter? Not everyone's going to be happy about everything. There's just a very small minority of people that couldn't really get their heads around why he was going into a WWE Hall of Fame. But as I said, he's got a history of WCW, and one of the greatest cruiserweights, junior heavyweights of all time, no doubt about it. If you're doing like a junior heavyweight Mount Rushmore, he's the first head, he's the first face that you're chiseling away when it comes to cruiserweights and junior heavyweights, certainly over in Japan. So yeah, an absolute legend. And in regards to the Bellas, I've seen a lot of conversation. They're actually trending right now. The Bella twins are trending. And this has split people. I couldn't tell you the percentage. I would say more people are for it than against it. But there's definitely a large group of people that don't want the Bellas going in. I think they should. I've said this on Twitter. I think they should. I think Nikki won 2 championships. Brie won a championship as well. They were in key matches. I'm thinking like Brie versus Stephanie at SummerSlam was quite a key match. Any Stephanie McMahon match is a key match. And for her to have a singles match against Brie is quite a big deal. And then also like AJ Lee's final match. AJ Lee and Paige versus the Bellas at WrestleMania 31. Again, another key match. And there's been quite a few, actually, when you go through the history of like the Bellas. There's been quite a few key match moments. Obviously, as we said, there's been 3 championship reigns between them. Not only that, they've obviously starred, literally starred, been the stars of like Total Divas. So, to wrestle in the ring and then have your personal life filmed as well, they've given a lot. And obviously from the success of that, we got Total Bellas. Now, it's not aimed at me. I should imagine it's not aimed at many of you, but there's definitely a market, an audience for it. Total Bellas will start its 5th season. Season 5 will start in April. Hence why they're going in the Hall of Fame this year, because that's going to be around the same time. So I feel like they deserve to go in. I've got no problems with them going in. I think if you're going to talk about the history of women's wrestling in WWE, then they're not top of the tree. They're not Lita and Trish. They're not the 4 horsewomen, but they get mentioned. And I feel like they're Hall of Fame worthy. Not the best in ring, but the Hall of Fame has never been about that. So I feel like they deserve to go in. And April makes sense because it's going to be around the same time as season 5 of Total Bellas, and who knows if there'll be a season 6, in all honesty, because they're not wrestling anymore. It's kind of about following the personal lives and following their journeys as like wrestlers and people, and I don't know if they'll get another season out of it. So this could be a peak time to put them in. They can put them in. They're going to go in at some point. Might as well be this year when Total Bellas is about to air, and it could be the last season. So I don't know. You look at it and go, that does actually make sense. So I haven't got a problem with the Bellas. Jushin's done the Liger. He retired in January. No, I've got no issue with that. I would say no one, but as we said, there's a few people online that seem to have just a slight niggle. But certainly the majority are happy. I think it's looking like a really good class because, of course, as well as those, we've had Batista announced and we've also had NWO. So that's the 4 entries that we've had so far. I've had a few people saying, yeah, but what about British Bulldog? What about Owen Hart? What about Demolition? They're all excellent, worthy entries. Demolition is a slight problem because they've had a rough history with WWE. They don't see eye to eye. I think they might even have been on that concussion lawsuit. So they're not in a good place with WWE, which is why they're not going in. So they might go in, sadly, after they've passed away. They might put them in at that point. Or, if bridges can be built, they absolutely deserve to go in. I would hope it's that. But that's the reason why no Demolition. In regards to Owen Hart, his widow won't allow it. So until she says that he can go in, they would love to put him in. They would love to put him in, but they can't put him in. And then the British Bulldog, I think, is a really weird one because there's been a few rumours, just, talk about WrestleMania coming to London. It was actually on a poll that was done, I think last year. I think they said last year they sent a little poll out to network subscribers. Where would you like to see future WrestleMania? And it had several options. One of the options was London. And we know that John Cena has spoken about this in the past. Whenever they come to the UK, the question always gets asked, could we see a WrestleMania here one day? The answer's always the same. Never say never. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just wondering if the idea is out there. Not serious, but it's still just floating around. It's not quite going away. There's no rush to put Davey in. Could it be they're saving him for that? Could it be that if they do announce in the future, say 5 years' time, they do announce WrestleMania in London, could they just be saving the British Bulldogs? Davey Boy Smith, Dynamite Kid, William Regal, could they just be holding back for that? I'm not sure. It's just something I'm wondering. As I said, there's no real rush because he can't do a speech. He's sadly passed away, but yeah, it's interesting stuff. I do think there's a lot in when they go in. I don't think it's done in any kind of priority order. It's not like we need to get this person in now. It's done in the sense of what makes the most sense that year. Like NWO makes sense this year because it's in Tampa. That's obviously, where Hogan is based. It's kind of, I don't know if was he born there? I know he spent a lot of time in Florida. So yeah, Tampa and all around there. He's got like Hogan's Beach Shop down there. There's one in Clearwater. There's one in Orlando. He's got 2. So NWO makes perfect sense going in this year. Not sure about Batista. But obviously, he only retired last year, so I suppose this is the first opportunity to put him in. They don't tend to like to put people in when they're still competing. So this would be the first year of being able to put Batista in. You've got marquee ones still to come, like The Rock, Undertaker. So yeah, it's not done in a priority order. Angel Osario says, Days, shout out and to everyone in the chat. Shout out to you, buddy. Hope you are well. Thank you for joining us. Brandon says, I love WWE and wrestling. Days, thank you for the live stream. Thank you, bud. Thank you for joining us as well. Really do appreciate it. Whilst I am still going through my little monologue, let me just tell you what we've got tonight. So we've already heard about Adam Cole, and we've heard about Kishida and the potential there. We've heard about Candice LeRae and Dakota Kai. Also, we've got Lio Rush and Angel Garza competing to be the #1 contenders for the NXT Cruiserweight title. We've got the fallout of Velveteen Dream's return. That was last week. Velveteen Dream came back last week. Very cool. Will Tommaso Ciampa try and get some retribution ahead of TakeOver, which is this weekend? Of course, he was attacked last week. They spray painted that X on him. And then, of course, Velveteen Dream making the save at the end. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. We should be seeing them. Obviously, we've got to build towards this weekend. We've also got Keith Lee and Dijakovic that are building towards this weekend. So there's quite a few bits going on. Obviously, you never know if you might see Charlotte. Shayna. I don't know where Shayna is anymore. I feel like Shayna might have been called up to Raw, so she might not be like an NXT superstar anymore. But yeah, you just never know. You never know what you're gonna see. So yes, we've got all that happening over on AEW. We've got a women's championship match. We've got Rio versus Nyla Rose. You might remember that Nyla Rose slammed Rio into that table last week, and the table didn't break. So she took a nasty bump last week. I'm sure she's going to be fine for this week, but yeah, it shows how powerful Nyla Rose is. Yeah, Rio, obviously not the biggest of competitors anyway. That's going to be a tough match for the champ. We've also got Jon Moxley versus Santana. This is an eye for an eye match, and I've got no idea what that means. In fact, on Cage Side Seats, which is where I've got all this stuff listed, it says, "What is an eye for an eye match?" Seriously, they've both already lost one eye. Is this a Kill Bill situation? They're saying that Moxley's slowly working his way through the inner circle, and obviously we're building towards Moxley and Jericho. So, yeah, I don't know what an eye for an eye match is, but we've got Jon Moxley against Santana. We've got MJF taking on Jungle Boy as well, which could be quite interesting. Dustin Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara. Could kind of take or leave that. And obviously the fallout of last week's Lashes, which, I mean, I thought was I was really worried about that segment, but I actually thought it came out really well. So I thought that last week's AEW was a decent show. I thought last week's NXT was strong as well. I had, off the top of my head, I had them very, very close. The two shows last week, very, very close. So it just goes to show you never really know what to expect by reading the previews. Because something that can look good on paper might not necessarily be great when you actually watch it. And then something that you're worried about might be all right. Winner gets the other person's eye, so the winner has two eyes. Fair play. Yeah, that must be what it is. That's going to be interesting. Daze, what's your thoughts on Cena versus Fiend at WrestleMania 36? I gotta tell you, we did a video earlier today, which was all about the Fiend versus Goldberg, and we explore a lot of the theories. Of course, Roman Reigns actually came out and spoke on that subject. He actually said who he wanted to face. If he was going to win Elimination Chamber, go to WrestleMania. He came out and said who he wanted to face. That video has done so well. I can't believe it. It's got like a normal amount of views. I think it's on just over 2,000 views, which for the amount of time it's been up is about what would be expected. But the watch time, the amount of like time people are watching it for, is much longer than normal videos. This is a subject. This is like the hot topic right now. Fiend and Goldberg really does seem to be what everyone's talking about right now. The interest, it's what I get asked all the time. And as we can see there, getting asked again about John Cena now going on to potentially face The Fiend. So this is certainly what people are interested in. This seems to be what people are talking about. I still stand by Fiend wins, goes forward, faces Roman. John Cena then, I would prefer him to get Velveteen Dream. We were talking about this on the stream the other day. I would prefer it if it was going to be John Cena against an up-and-comer. I know that The Fiend kind of needs to get a win over Cena. Cena beat Bray at WrestleMania, so that match does make sense. And it is a match that I would like to see at some point. So I suppose in the video we did earlier, we kind of put that out there as a slight concern that they've got Cena there potentially to use and do a bit of a build, have a match at WrestleMania. And Fiend would make a lot of sense. I think it was WrestleMania 30. Bray Wyatt versus John Cena. John Cena won. And you've got to know that hurt Bray. That was like a big early defeat for Bray Wyatt. And, you know, Bray could come out and say that it was all downhill after that point. You know, I know he went on to win the WWE title, but he never really fulfilled his potential, his full potential, outside of that one championship reign. So, yeah, it's an easy story to tell, and for that reason, you can't rule it out, because Vince could wake up and say, yeah, let's do this. Let's do Goldberg versus Roman. Let's do Cena versus Fiend. Because, again, if you haven't heard the news, John Cena will be on SmackDown the day after Super Showdown. Super Showdown is February 27th. John Cena is on the show, SmackDown, February 28th. So, yeah, I still stick by all the rumours and the news, and what Dave Meltzer's been saying is that it's still Roman versus Fiend. Equally, everyone is saying Vince can change his mind any second. And now we've got the news that John Cena's going to be on SmackDown. So you would think that's part of some kind of build towards WrestleMania. I just really hope that it's going to be Cena versus an NXT talent, because I think it'd be a good spotlight for NXT. And I also think that it would be a great match for an NXT talent. Ideally, the Velveteen Dream, because we know that they would love to face each other. Be a big moment for the Dream, that would, to get a match at WrestleMania against John. So I'd be more excited for that. Please explain how Liger is going to be in the Hall of Fame when he only had one match in WWE. I can't tell if you're being serious and didn't hear what we spoke about earlier, or if you are if you're joking. I'm happy to repeat it again. I'm fine with him going into the Hall of Fame because WWE own WCW, and of course Liger had a lot of WCW matches. And for me, the WWE Hall of Fame is kind of representative of wrestling, and kind of representative of like stars from major promotions. I think it's a nice honor for them to do that. I suppose in a way you could argue that there should be some sort of connection, just something. To be honest, that one match is enough of a connection for me. Liger is such a legend that I really feel that the WWE Hall of Fame would suffer without him. And as I said, he goes in because of his history with WCW. But there's people in the Hall of Fame that we've spoken about before that have gone in with the legacy classes that were before WWE were even around. People like Frank Gotch, George Hackenschmidt, June Byers, Mildred Burke. None of those competed in WWE because they were all around before WWE. But they haven't excluded them from going into the Hall of Fame because they, weren't around at the same time. They've still included them and put them in. So in a way, the WWE Hall of Fame is it's kind of like a wrestling Hall of Fame in many ways. And honestly, it would just be poorer. It would be much poorer without him. But I think there's a strong enough connection for the fact that he competed in WCW. And as I said, even if it is just for that one match against Tyler Breeze, it was a good match. So he deserves it for that. It was a good match. Imagine if Liger now signs a Legends deal and we get a Mattel Elite of him after all of these exclusives. That would be fun. Hello, C. I hope you're well. AEW live stream, WWE NXT live stream. Shout out No Name. Days, I think Roman will not face the Fiend. Ooh, there we go. There we go. I've heard rumours of Balor versus Cena. I hope that is false. Balor versus Cena, I think would be okay. It's not the match that I would maybe ideally select. It's not the match that I would book personally. I think it'd be all right. I can think of way worse matches. There's a lot of people saying that it could be Cena Corbin. Because, of course, King Corbin has kind of like the big heel on SmackDown. He's just coming out of a feud with Roman. That feud should be done at Super Showdown. So it should be a case that he loses that cage match against Roman. We're finally done. And then the next night, it really could be King Corbin that interrupts John Cena. And then attacks John Cena or something along those lines, and we build towards Cena versus King Corbin at WrestleMania. Days, I heard the Bella Twins might go in the Hall of Fame 2020. Yeah, we've covered it. We spoke about it at the start. Hello to Monica King. John Cena, 17-time champ this year. Nightmare Street Fan. Cole versus Cena. I need it. I would love Cole versus Cena. I would love it. I think that would be my ideal. Either that or the Velveteen Dream. I would like the Velveteen Dream to get it because we know that he wants that match. And I think Cena has kind of spoken about Velveteen Dream in the past as well. Kind of saying that he's a great up-and-coming talent and all this kind of stuff. So, yeah, I would love the Velveteen Dream to get that moment. But Adam Cole makes perfect sense because you would feel like the NXT Championship should be defended on WrestleMania. The women's title is going to be, seemingly, it will end up being Rhea, Charlotte, or Rhea, Bianca, and Charlotte. So why not the men's? Why not the men's? Adam Cole against John Cena. I think we were talking about it on the stream the other day. You know, he could turn around to Cena and say, "You've won it all. You've done everything. You've done everything there is to do. But you've never won this. You've never had this title." I think that'd be very cool. So, yeah, I'd love that. I've got to tell you as well, there was a conference call earlier, which I listened to, which was very, very interesting. This was the NXT TakeOver Portland conference call. And it was, as I said, very, very insightful. Triple H was talking about that whole women's thing. You know how the women's title was meant to lose the word women's. He was saying that there was a conversation that was had. So apparently down in NXT, they were talking about the fact that, look, you can clearly see that these are women. You can clearly see that on the belt it says women's. You can see on the graphic that it says women's. The commentators say women's. Like, there's no need to bang on about it so much. So I think the point he was making is that we can afford to drop the word women's from certain places. We don't need all this mention of it. So it's kind of something I think they're looking at, maybe an idea they're evolving. It's not that it's a hard and fast rule that it's no longer the NXT Women's Championship. That's not what's happened. He said that the internet grabbed hold of the story and it all blew out of proportion. He says that he just doesn't feel the need to just keep pointing it out and keep banging on about the fact it's women's. We know. So, it might be that it gets dropped from a graphic. It might be that it doesn't get called the women's by the commentators. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's what that was about. So, officially, it's not been dropped. Officially, it's still the women's championship, but I think they're just going to not bang you over the head with the fact it's the NXT women's title and kind of be so, stuck on the gender. He spoke also interestingly about halftime heat and why there wasn't one this year, which I thought was a great question because I did wonder if they were going to do something. And he said that the fact that Fox were showing the Super Bowl, which I don't know if that's true, but apparently they had big connections to it. They're now a partner with WWE. Of course, they weren't on Fox last year. So if they had done a halftime heat, they're potentially taking viewers away from the actual halftime show that Fox are showing. So that's why they didn't feel comfortable doing it. So that's why there was no halftime heat this year. He was saying as well that he is really excited as to where NXT is. He says he thinks it's as stacked as it's ever been. That shows itself in the fact that this is a bigger takeover than it's been. I think this is like 6 matches. It might even be more than that now. But there's more matches on this takeover than what we normally see at a takeover. And the fact that Killer Cross has been announced and Timothy Thatcher's been announced. And, he spent a little bit of time talking about The Rock's daughter. And he was saying, how incredible was the press coverage. It was it was everywhere. And in fact, that's very true because earlier today, I can tell you that The Rock's daughter was the 3rd most read article on all of the BBC. On the BBC website, one of the biggest websites on the internet. The 3rd most read story was the fact that WWE had signed The Rock's daughter. So, he was saying that he doesn't envy the pressure that's on her shoulders. Apparently she's there because she deserves to be there. She's not there because she's The Rock's daughter. She's got a place and she can lose that place if she doesn't put the work in. But he's known her for a few years, obviously, 'cause, he knows The Rock and he knows the kind of person she is and he knows that she will make it a success. He's talking about Scarlett when he was talking about Killer Cross, and he spoke about A-Kid as well. He spoke about quite a few talents that we've not really seen yet. So he was talking about how stacked the roster is. And what was really interesting is Triple H said Vince McMahon has not expressed any disapproval of anything Matt Riddle has said about Brock Lesnar. And he would have if there had been a problem. He did say that there'd been conversations backstage between Matt Riddle and Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. And he doesn't know where they are with those conversations. He doesn't know if there's hangovers from it or anything like that, but he's not concerned about it. So we know that Matt Riddle actually cut a promo the other week at a house show about Brock again. So calling him out and still calling out his name and talking about him. So clearly not listening to what Brock Lesnar told him, which is take my name out of your mouth. Matt Riddle up to Matt Riddle things. Days, what's your thoughts on Undertaker versus Sting at WrestleMania? Rumors are saying that Sting has been cleared to wrestle. Yeah? I would love it. Stu Lone Wolf, shout out to you. I think that it's a match that really splits opinion. There's a lot of people that don't want it, and there's a lot of people that do. So there's no right and wrong, of course, as with much of wrestling. I'm very much in the camp of I want it. I want that match. I don't care where they do it. If they do it at WrestleMania, then this might be controversial, but I hope Sting wins. Looking at the two of them, Sting would arguably need the win more. And that's a weird thing to say because he doesn't necessarily need a win. Does he? Is Sting, his career's done. If we get one more match out of him, why does he need a win? But honestly, one of the most painful losses I've ever seen was seeing him lose to Triple H at WrestleMania 31. If I go back and think about matches where the result didn't go the way that I wanted, that's honestly one of the first results that comes to mind. Sting versus Triple H. Triple H wins. It bothered me then, and it bothers me now. And apparently the reason for it is because the year after at WrestleMania 32, it was meant to be Rock versus Triple H. So they were actually planting seeds, you know. So Triple H beat Sting. Then he came out and he was gloating. You might remember, you know, they were talking about the attendance record. And then Rock came down to the ring. And then we got that Ronda Rousey Rock moment where he pulled her out of the crowd. All of that was building towards WrestleMania 32, which was going to be Triple H versus The Rock. But apparently The Rock couldn't do it in the end because of filming schedules. So it meant that loss that Sting had suffered, it was kind of for nothing. It was for nothing. I mean, honestly, I don't know which way it would have gone if that Rock thing hadn't have been a part of the story. So yeah, he's had one match, Sting, at WrestleMania. He's only had a handful of matches in WWE. I think he did win one match. I think he's won a match against Big Show, maybe, on Raw. Can't quite remember. But he deserves that big... I'm not saying that should be The Undertaker's final match, but I would love for Sting to get a victory at WrestleMania. And he said the only match he's interested in is Undertaker. And I'm so over this whole WWE is better than WCW rubbish that Vince has got his mind set on, you know? Vince, whenever he gets the opportunity, always likes to put down WCW. And there's lots of theories that that's why Triple H had beaten Sting. It was because Vince wanted to, again, just bang the drum that he had beaten WCW. But it feels like if they were to face each other, it'd be an obvious Undertaker win, and I'd love it if it didn't go that way. So, but I think more important than all of that, they would both have to be safe. And the match would be awful. You'd have to accept that. You'd have to know going into it the match would be slow. There'd be missed spots. There'd be botches. But as long as they can both successfully get through that match, as long as they can do the basics, I'm not looking for a 5-star classic. I'm fine with just the build and the face-to-face. And yeah, I think there could be some really, really cool stuff that came out of it. There's 5 versus 5. 5 NXT stars versus 5 AEW stars. Who do you book for each of them? Let me know. Who do you think? I can sit here and be a rambling rabbit for another 20 minutes, but maybe we throw that one. I always like to give the chat a question. So maybe that's it. Maybe C Wrestling has come up with the question for us all today. What Survivor Series? How about that? If you was going to do a Survivor Series match, 5-on-5, who would you have? Who would you have in your teams? It's a good question. I mean, straight away your mind thinks about both tops of the cards, doesn't it? But I don't know. Perhaps there's a few surprises in there people could throw in. Would people put in Orange Cassidy? For example, we've not seen him wrestle. Would you put him in the team? Maybe the AEW team gets decimated and you're starting to get down to just Orange. How about that for booking? So their team's getting absolutely battered, and all of a sudden you've just got Orange, who's kind of standing on the apron, hands in his pockets, and he's kind of looking around, and he's watching all his teammates kind of slowly fall away. And maybe we get down to a 3-on-1 situation. Can you imagine how loud that place would be for Orange Cassidy if you got down to a 3-on-1 situation and it was Orange Cassidy staring opposite Triple H, maybe Shane McMahon and Seth Rollins or something like that. I don't know. I think that you could really book some very, very interesting stuff with that. Very interesting stuff. So, yeah, let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Who would you be putting into it? It'd be a really good if Team NXT had Adam Cole, Ciampa, Gargano, Balor, and Keith Lee. Love that team. AEW would have Jericho, Moxley, Omega, MJF, and Jake Hager. Nice. Rock versus Fiend. Wow, there's rumours next year, isn't there, of Rock versus Roman? Apparently Roman wants that match for WrestleMania 37, which, you know, I mean, look, it's in Hollywood. Just think of what they can do. WrestleMania in Hollywood, you've got to get The Rock for that. You've got to. You've got to get Cena. You've got to get The Rock. You need The Miz. You've got to go. You need Hogan. You need literally anyone that's made a film. You need some film stars there as well. Give out a load of free tickets to a load of movie stars. Get them backstage. Do little fun segments. You know, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnie's a wrestling fan. Arnie's in the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, you got to get Arnie, man. Get Arnie involved. Mr. T. What's Mr. T doing? Get loads of celebrities. Hello, this is the NWA. Hope you are well. We are 17 minutes away from AEW and NXT. Don't forget the current question as we are moving our way towards the action this week is if you could have 5 NXT superstars and 5 AEW superstars, what would your 2 teams look like? If you don't want to list all of them, I understand. You can just give us, like, say, Team NXT or Team AEW, or if you want to write them all, write them all. Or if you've got a little curveball, someone that you would put in, then do it. Put them in. Something that people might not have considered with this question. Women. Doesn't have to be men. Could be women. You could be doing... in fact, what would a women's AEW team consist of? I suppose you would have to have Rio. Even though I'm not her biggest fan, but I suppose you'd have to have her. Chris Statlander? I don't know. I think a women's AEW team's tricky. You've got to have Britt Baker. Rio, Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, Chris Statlander. Haven't seen her for a few weeks, but I think you would still have her. Maybe Bea Priestley. Maybe that would be your 5. I don't know. It's interesting. I think the NXT women's team would be fire. Be absolute fire. With the likes of Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair and Candice LeRae and Io Shirai, and who's out injured at the moment, but still. It's weak women's division right now. Days has never said anything about that, and he joked about it when he watched in the past. Riddle is on and stuff. Spoke about what? I don't know what you mean. I want to talk about it now if we've not spoken about it. I don't know any subject we've not spoken about. I have a photograph of Orange Cassidy. He's a good wrestler. Versus Homicide. He took some crazy bumps. But probably the most unfriendly wrestler I have met yet. What? Orange? Orange was unfriendly. Orange Cassidy was unfriendly. I find that really hard to believe. Unless he was in character and he just like... Was he doing that? If he was in character, I can understand it. Oh, I need to know more about that now. Unbroken 1010, let me know. Has anyone else met anyone that was unfriendly? Let me know. Not here to throw shade on superstars, but I did actually see a post the other day, and someone listed all the superstars they'd met, and next to them they put friendly, unfriendly, friendly, unfriendly, and amazingly, they put unfriendly for Mick Foley. I was like, no way. No way. if there's one superstar I thought would be absolutely give you every second in the world, I would have thought that it would have been Mick Foley. I mean, yeah, look, people have bad days. So you can't really read much into it, you know. But yeah, I was still surprised. Wade in Days, will we ever get an AEW NXT invasion angle? Don't think so. Riker, Wesley Blake, Lio Rush, Bobby Fish, and Jack Gallagher. Wow, that's a random team. Huskus is a legend. I didn't expect those names. Anxo says Jericho, Moxley, Cody, MJF, and Omega. I think a lot of people seem to be quite agreed with that. That would certainly seem like the real top end of the card. Then you've got Cole, Roderick, Strong, which is an interesting choice. Dream, Ciampa, and Keith Lee. So you'd go Roderick Strong over Gargano. Or Balor. That's quite interesting. Very cool. Who would be your dream future opponent for Edge? That's a good question. I'll have a think. I met Kevin Nash and he did not speak to me whatsoever. I was so starstruck I didn't know what to do. He kind of looked at me. How do you kind of look at? I can't even do it. Someone's there, and you just kind of go. Okay. I don't know. He kind of like this. He kind of looked at me. I need to go back to that. Where is it? He kind of looked at me. Like, I didn't finish the rest of it. I didn't finish the rest. I should have finished the rest of the sentence. It says, he kind of looked at me like I was nothing. That's the way it felt. So it was like, hang on, I can play this out, right? Scene. There we go. Powerful. Was it like that? I'm sorry if you've just had to relive that moment. But in my head, that's how it was. There was even a huff in there as well. I got into character. I was thinking like Magic Mike and all of this kind of stuff. So I hope that came across. Days, did you see the Dark Orders match on AEW Dark? It was really good. Wow. I think that might be the first time that Dark Order match really good have been put in the same sentence. No is the answer. I never watched Dark because I've never felt that it's pushed stories along. It for me, Dark is like main event, WWE main event. It just shows matches, doesn't push stories along. But it has actually done a couple of things on Dark, which made me go, ooh, maybe I should be watching it. It seemed like the Nightmare Collective broke up on Dark. I was under the impression they had just kicked out Awesome Kong, so I just read a report about it, and they said that apparently, was it Luther and Mel turned on Awesome Kong? So I was like, oh, that's interesting. She must be injured. I know she needs time away. So I thought they'd gone that way. But now it seems like Nightmare Collective have broken up, so... and it seems like that statement was made on Dark, so yeah, maybe I should be starting to watch it. I'm not sure. I thought my stream froze. Days, would you rather have Matt Hardy or Brody Lee as the Exalted One? I think Brody Lee, to be honest. I think Matt Hardy could go to several companies. I also don't think that he needs to kind of work within the structure of being the Exalted One. I think he could do something with it. I think he could have a lot of fun with it. So I know he would make it work, but I feel like he could go to any company and do anything, you know? He could go to Impact and just, here you go, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Matt, you're so creative. Rather than making you do something we've got planned, what's your ideas? Because he is a very, very creative mind. So I think just for the reason of not wanting to put that on him and let him express himself, I would probably go with Brody Lee, because I think that would be huge for Luke Harper. Let's call him Luke Harper. I think that would be absolutely huge for him, because he's never really been put on a stage like that. He was part of the Wyatt family, but obviously he was always in the background. You know, he was a bludgeon brother, but he was always stood next to Rowan. Last we saw of him, he was Rowan's sidekick. Again, I think he had a little solo career, but nothing came of it. Making him the Exalted One would be a real platform, and he's such a great wrestler that I really do feel like he deserves that opportunity, so I'd be leaning that way for that reason. My AEW versus NXT match. Yes, Jim, what is it? Oh, it's the ladies. Jim, you sly dog, Jim. I know what you're up to. So, Jim Gore would be having Brandy, Rio, Baker, Nyla Rose, and Leva Bates, the librarian. Taking on Tegan Nox, Candice LeRae, Toni Storm, Scarlett Bordeaux, and Rhea Ripley. Good teams. I feel like, Leva Bates, huge on the indies. She was in NXT as Blue Pants, of course. She might be a little bit of a weak link in that team. Nyla Rose, very powerful. Britt Baker, yeah. Rio, the champion. Brandy, probably another weak link. Tegan Nox, again, similar, big on the indies. Not had too many matches in NXT yet because of 2 massive injuries. So, don't know, maybe a question mark around her. Not her being on the team. I'm literally playing the match out now. I'm going, wonder who would win. LeRae, yeah. Storm, yeah. Scarlett Bordeaux, question marks around her for me. I don't know much about her at all. Rhea Ripley. I feel like NXT might get it. I feel like NXT might get that. I think that Candice LeRae, Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley in particular might be the difference maker there. So, good teams, man. I could see that being a great match. Cody and Triple H as captains. Young Bucks. Revival. Okay. I can give you Revival. Because obviously, you know, if they go and steal them back or whatever, as the tag teams. Kenny and Seth as support. We're stretching now with Seth. Pac and Finn Balor. They're great teams. They are great teams. I know Leva would be a weak link, but I like her. Oh, yeah, she's great. Can I tell you that I met Demolition. I've met Honky Tonk. I'm not going to name everyone I've met, but I'm just thinking recently, in the past few years, I've met Demolition, Honky Tonk Man, and William Regal, and all 3 were amazing. Brilliant. And Honky Tonk Man is someone that you hear real dodgy stuff about. Honky Tonk Man, there's been quite a few people saying that they didn't have good experiences. But I went over, I had a picture taken with him, and he was like, how you doing, bud, and everything. We had a picture, nice to meet you. It's only a couple of seconds. But I went up to him after to get my picture signed. Did I get my picture signed? I got something signed. I got a figure signed. I got this signed. There we go. That's what I got signed. So that is actually signed by the Honky Tonk Man, as you can see. I got the figure signed. And he was like, where did you get that figure from? It's like, home. He's like, we went around and we bought them all up, all the figures. And I was like, okay. In my head, I thought, that's strange. But I thought, I'm not going to ask. So he didn't know where I'd got the figure from. He said that he'd gone around and bought them all. And I was like, no, I've bought this one from home. So he signed it. And I can't remember what we spoke about. We spoke about something, probably to do with his Intercontinental Championship reign. And, just a couple of comments and everything. But whatever I was asking him, he was just like, yeah, that was whatever, blah, 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 blah. And it was just really cool. Demolition, I only had the picture with Demolition. And they were great. They were huge, Demolition, like, on me, they're up here. Like, you can't really appreciate how tall wrestlers are just by seeing them on TV. Demolition, for some reason, I thought I'd be roughly the same height, but they were, like, way bigger than what I thought. And it was really cool to meet Smash in particular, because, of course, Smash was also Repo Man. So, like, when I was shaking his hand, I was thinking, oh, you're Repo Man. So I was kind of freaking out that I was meeting... I was freaking out I was there in the presence of Demolition, but I was also like, you're Repo Man. And that was really cool as well. And they were great. And William Regal. William Regal was really cool. He was really cool. I went over, I bought a picture, and I put the picture down. He went, who shall I make this out to? And I was like, Days, please. And he went, Days? Yes, please. Yes, that's... He went, that's your name? I was like, I have a YouTube channel, sir. Thank you. He's like, all right, cool. He didn't have a clue who I was. It was like, yeah, cool. I was like, can I just say it's a real honour to meet you? It's a real... I mean, what you've done for British wrestling is just... I just thank you and all this. And he was like, oh, man, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I was like, do you mind if I ask you one thing? He was like, yeah, go ahead. I was like, is there one talent in NXT that you think is going to change the game? Is there one talent that you think is going to go on? And he was like, I got to be honest, I don't like answering that. I get asked it quite a bit, which made me feel stupid. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm that good of a journalist. I ask the obvious questions. The questions he gets asked all the time. The questions that he doesn't like to answer. This is your boy right here. I'll ask them questions. The questions he doesn't like answering, the ones he gets asked all the time. So he was like, yeah, I get asked that all the time. And honestly, I don't like answering it because they're all, you know, brilliant to work with. I haven't got a bad word to say about any of them. They all give everything they've got, and it's just a privilege to be a part of NXT. And you kind of go, I totally agree. And at the time, Asuka was there, and I was like, I totally understand what you're saying. But Asuka is special, isn't she? But Asuka's really cool, isn't she? And he was like, yeah, definitely, absolutely. So yeah, that was like my interaction. I think pretty much after that, I was like, do you mind if I get a picture? We did a picture, and I went off before I said anything more embarrassing. So yeah, those are the three that I've met kind of within the past few years, and all of them were awesome. You are a journalist. Yes, a bad one. A bad one. Asking the questions that people don't like answering. Days, is Rusev coming back to WWE, or is he done? No, apparently he's coming back because isn't he on the match for Super Showdown? I think he's in that, well, I don't know, what's it called? The Turiz Mountain trophy thing. I'm a journalist. So yeah, I think it's called like the Turek Mountains. Some kind of gauntlet match where you get a trophy. I'm sure he was shown on the graphic for that. So, he's coming back. Okay, right. Okay, as we said, Wednesday's very, very different. I do like to stress it because it stresses me out a little bit because we like to have a laugh and a joke on a Monday. Certainly on a Tuesday during the NWA stream. On a Friday as well with SmackDown, we have a lot of fun. We try to have fun here, but we have to watch two shows at the same time. We've got NXT just about to begin now. AEW is 12 seconds away. And then, of course, we will be underway with the Wednesday Night War. We will stick around for about half an hour after. I always like to do that so that I can make sure I definitely catch up with you guys. Because I am conscious that I don't get a chance to speak to you as much as I would like on a Wednesday. Both shows just going through their intros. Don't forget, we've got Moxley versus Santana in an eye for an eye match. No idea. Daisy's going to ignore us. I'm going to try not to, bud. I'm going to try not to. Blasted Radio, shout out to you. I'm jealous because I've never met a wrestler, says Liam Costa Costa. Also, I've got back from Tesco just in time for NXT. I've brought chocolate milkshake and tree ball mints. Party round yours, mate. Party round yours. Shout out to Mooney Wolf. And then, of course, at the end of NXT last week, Velveteen Dream returning. I'm guessing we're going to hear from the Dream this week. Velveteen Dream coming back. And those tights, call me Marina. I'm hoping that we hear from Roddy as well. And we get a little bit more on those tights. NXT chants. Hello, what we got here? SCU? SCU. Okay, so I think we SCU against Omega and Paige. Gargano against Cameron Grimes. Right, who's on the way? Roderick Strong. Boom, boom. Roderick Strong on the way. Not sure if this... Is this a promo? He's got something on his mind. Is this going to be about the trunks? Let's see what Roddy's got to say. Velveteen chant. Velveteen. This is nice. This is a good way to start, man. This is about me and you, Dream. You put my wife face and my son's face on your stupid gear. Why has he got his t-shirt tucked into his pants? Why has he done that? He's tucked them right into his pants. Like this. That's my Roderick Strong impression. He's going to do something he doesn't regret. He's going to have chocolate milkshake and tree ball mints. Oh, hello. Who's this? Bronson Reed? Bronson Reed? I like Bronson. We're going to fight right now. Oh, hello. Referee getting in the way. Referee did a bit of a moonwalk then. We've got Dark Order. Join the Dark Order. Right, so looks like we're getting Roderick Strong. Christopher Daniels going out back. Join the Dark Order. It's interesting, isn't it? They are definitely teasing that Christopher Daniels is involved in the Dark Order. They're definitely like constantly banging on, and the commentators even mentioning the fact that things seem a little bit suspicious. So Daniels has gone out back to try and investigate what's happening with the Dark Order, and we are underway with Omega, Paige, the current AEW Tag Team Champions, taking on the former champions, SCU. So, starting off with a pretty big match. Should be a really good match as well. I think, wasn't it on Jericho's cruise that these two faced each other? These two teams. And it was a really good match, really enjoyable stuff. Over on NXT, we got Roderick Strong. It's really great to see him start in the show. Taking on Bronson Reed, someone that I'm a big fan of. He is a big guy. He's very agile. You know, it's easy comparisons to the likes of Vader and Bam Bam Bigelow. They're a bit too easy, those comparisons, but I like his ring gear as well. He's got, like, I think there maybe should be a little bit of colour there. It's just white and black, but it does look pretty cool. Oh! And big slap across the chest. Roderick Strong's t-shirt situation has gone from bad to worse. He had him tucked into his pants now. It's currently wrapped over his head. You currently can't see, thanks to Bronson Reed. Over on Dynamite, we've got SCU in control. Days, you've spelt Page wrong. I have, you're right. I've spelt it as if it's Page from WWE. That'd be quite a development, wouldn't it? Cody, Dustin Rhodes, Adam Page versus Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, and Triple H. Great wrestling on AEW, yeah. First time these two teams met each other, it was a really good match. And it seems like we're getting that again. So, great way to start both shows, really. As I said, I'm into Bronson Reed, Roderick Strong as well. Roderick Strong's the kind of person that can really make up-and-comers look like $1 million. Roderick Strong is NXT's Cesaro. He can just have matches with anyone and make them look amazing. He is such a great person to have on the roster. And putting him in there with Bronson Reed right now, he's going to sell, he's going to bump, he's going to make Bronson Reed look like a monster, and that is exactly what he's doing. Kenny Omega just gets tripped over by Scorpio Sky, who comes crashing down onto Hangman. And now Omega comes crashing down onto SCU. This is good. So this is for the Tag Team Championships as well. So, Tag Team Championships on the line. Days, are you streaming TakeOver on Sunday? We are streaming TakeOver, but we are going to be streaming UFC as well. And I think they're on at the same time. So, it might be advertised as a UFC stream, because I think the UFC goes on later. So, it might make more sense for me to set it up as a UFC stream, but we will absolutely be watching both. So, yeah, just be aware of that. Against the ropes goes Roderick Strong, forearm strike, and he goes down. Over on AEW, we've got Omega against the ropes. Oh. A Kentaro Crusher. I've never even heard of such a thing. A Kentaro Crusher. That's a new one on me. I will give credit to Excalibur. Lovely standing vertical suplex. Look at this. Look at what Bronson Reed's doing. He's still got him up. That's been a good 30 seconds. Nearly a minute up in the air for Roderick Strong. Wow. I bet his legs are numb. All the blood's gone to his head. A Kentaro Crusher. That's amazing. Yeah, I was going to say that Excalibur gets a bit of a bad rep, but I do appreciate commentators that call moves. Oh, moonsault, knees up by Scorpio Sky. Page going up, but Frankie just pushes him off and into the barricade. NXT goes to commercial. Scorpio Sky, face first goes Omega. Joe, how are you doing, bud? Joe says, Days, Scooby-Doo is in the AEW crowd. I haven't spotted him yet. I have now. He's in the front row. Yes. Well spotted. Scooby-Doo. Wow. WWE have got green shirt guy. AEW have gone and got Scooby-Doo. Amazing. Well spotted, bud. NXT is better. NXT. Is TakeOver this Sunday, or is it late Saturday, early Sunday, or is it just Sunday night? I think it is, for us in the UK, I think it's like early Sunday morning, late Saturday night, like very late Saturday night, like starts at midnight type thing. I'd have to double check it. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's Sunday for us and late Saturday for America. Scorpio Sky standing on the back of Kenny Omega, who's draped over the bottom rope. I don't know why, but all the streams at the moment are being dominated by dogs. Last night's stream, when we did backstage, was dominated by dogs, and now I thought, we'd escape the dogs, and now we got Scooby-Doo sat in the front row of AEW. Green shirt guy versus Scooby-Doo, please. NXT, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, great team, versus AEW, Jon Moxley, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, and Orange Cassidy. I'm on board with that. TakeOver is on Sunday, UFC is on Saturday. Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Do you mean that they are on at different times? Because I was certainly under the impression that if that is true, I am over the moon. Because that means I can watch both shows without having to do this. February 16th. February 16th. And when is... UK time. Let's have a look. Omega down. We're still at commercial break on NXT. I'm currently investigating. It's the 16th of Feb in the US. It's the 17th of Feb in the UK. It starts at midnight. So when is the 17th of Feb? Let's see if I can open up a calendar. 17th of Feb is a Monday. So, that's amazing. So that means that it's early Monday for us in the UK, late Sunday. That's amazing. So that means that on Saturday we've got UFC, and then on Sunday we've got NXT TakeOver. I swear I thought they were both on Saturday night. That's amazing. I'm over the moon with that. So yes, we are watching along both shows. We will be doing UFC, and that means that we're streaming Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh well. So is life. Okay, we're back with NXT and Bronson Reed in firm control. Hangman Page has got SCU backed up into the corners, colliding into them. Duck underneath by Scorpio Sky, who jumps over the top but straight onto the shoulders of Hangman Page, who just throws him down. Standing moonsault, lovely work. 2. I'd like to think that the guy that's turned up in the Scooby costume, I'd like to think he's like, right, guys, can I just double check? We are all definitely going as Scooby-Doo characters, yeah? John, you got your Wilma costume, yeah? Dave, Scrappy, you going as Scrappy? I swear, if you're pranking me, you've definitely got your costumes, yeah? Because I've got the Scooby one. Okay. I'll meet you at the show, 7 o'clock, okay? And then he rocks up as Scooby-Doo. You absolute beep, beep, beep. Yeah, and we've got front row tickets as well. Because he literally is the only one in his party that's dressed as a cartoon cat, well, any kind of character, in all fairness. His mates are just sat there in, like, proper casual attire. I just love the idea that they pranked him. Prank Nation. That's what we've got going on. Massive clothesline by Bronson Reed. Turns Roderick Strong inside out. The selling from Roderick Strong here. Nice. Cutter. Another cutter. Yeah, so the ref's saying that this can't be the finish because over on AEW, they both had submission moves on. Kenny is trying to G up Hangman Page. Just give him a beer. Give him a beer. That'll G him up. That'll perk him right up. I can see a Page turn on Omega at Revolution. Well, I didn't know about here, actually, because if they lose the titles tonight, could it be tonight? Snapdragon suplex by Omega. We saw a V-trigger before. Oh, missed. Plants powerbomb. Kazarian in trouble here. There's a knee to the back of the head. Hangman Page to the outside. Right in front of Scooby-Doo. Yeah, SCU in trouble here. Hangman. Oh. It's done. Velveteen. There we go. Hangman and Page. So Hangman and Page retain the titles on AEW. Over on NXT, the lights just went out. Velveteen Dreams entrance music and graphics came on. Oh, big knee by Roderick Strong. 1, 2. Roderick Strong gets the win over Bronson Reed. Both matching, ending around the same time. Hangman jumping out of the ring. Grabbing a beer. Whoo! Hangman's like, whoo, whoo, whoo. Yeah, baby. It's fun watching an alcoholic. Right, there he is. Here's the dream. Call me up, Marina. He's still wearing them? Take the dream to the top of a trailer and throw him off. It's been a long time since we've seen the dream. Winner gets Marina. Yeah, Marina on a pole. What if someone took some up from you? What's the dream doing? We've got a close-up here. And there's a picture of Roderick Strong, his son, and his wife. What if? Oh, this is tense. This is personal. Someone somewhere. Oh! Velveteen Dream says, if something does happen to you, then someone, I promise you, will fulfill all of Marina's dreams. Wow. He's made it very personal. I really thought the camera was going to pan back and she would be, like, knocked out or something. Or drugged or... I mean, I know that's really dark, but still. Right, we've got, like, loads of teams brawling on AEW right now. The Books of Youth apparently was mentioned on commentary. The Books of Youth. Did they just say the Books of Youth? Apparently so. It's clever, innit? It's clever. Just saying something because they know people are going to talk about that. Pete Dunne, Matt Riddle. Road trip. Look, we can see Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle driving that trophy to Portland. Oh, this is this is a cool little vignette thing. Oh, hello, the police have arrived. This has turned into a sitcom. I feel like I'm watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. Oh, the car's being repossessed. Bro. Matt Riddle's like, I expected better from you. I like this. To be continued. They're trying to figure out a way to get to Portland. How do the Broserweights get to Portland? I tell you, that's very un-NXT. I don't know if I've seen, like, comedy vignettes like that, but it's been the one criticism that I've had of NXT is that it's very serious. If you watch 2 hours of NXT, by the time you get to the end of it, you're, like, absolutely exhausted. Orange Cassidy is here. Orange Cassidy on the entrance ramp puts his hands in his pockets. Oh. Super kicks by the Young Bucks. Why did Evil Uno and the other guy turn around and smile on the face of Orange? So, Tag Team Battle Royal next week. Young Bucks are in the ring. Orange is in the ring. They're having to help roll him in. Are we at commercial break? I'm not sure. It feels like we're at commercial break right now on AEW. We're certainly at commercial break on NXT. Matt Riddle, Orange Cassidy. That is my dream match. They just mentioned rumors Orton in the arena. Oh. Very interesting. Why would Orton be there to go after Beth? Why would he go after Beth? He's already taken out Edge. Wow, that'd be very, very interesting. If he comes out, what's he going to do? I don't know. What's he going to do? He's not going to beat up Beth, is he? But Beth would probably make most sense because obviously her connection to Edge, what with them being married. I mean, that is a connection. AEW just came back. No worries, Wrestling Days fan. Thank you for joining us. Yes, it has just come back. When you watch on Fight, you never know when it's gone to commercial. So you're just watching stuff thinking, it's not a great deal happening here. And then after a moment, you go, they've got to be at commercial. Nyla Rose against Rio coming up. Days Uno said Daniels is the exalted one. Oh. But I'm guessing Daniels hasn't confirmed that. So they're talking to Santana. We're just at commercial break. Orton's after Shawn, Triple H, or Regal. Why? Why would he be after those? Santana's sitting down with JR. So we've just got a interview with Santana. He's wearing shades. This explains why Ambrose was so funny the other day when he was at New Japan. Because when he was at New Japan, his eye patch came off, his bandage came off, and there's a good 10 seconds where he sat there looking at the camera with both eyes, and then he goes, oh, his brain must have gone, you've got an eye for an eye match coming up. You've got to sell the eye. Don't forget the eye. Here's Lio Rush. Lio Rush and Angel Garza backstage. The new Hulk Hogan Pop Vinyl is in Asda. Ooh. I never think to look in Asda. I've always been disappointed with the British supermarkets. That's interesting. Days, did you see the Alexa Bliss scissor the ring apron a few weeks ago? Yes, when she jumped out the ring, yes. Dunn and Riddle are comedy gold. They could have such a good run with videos like that. I really enjoyed it. I bet there'll be people online moaning. But I agree. I thought it was very good. And as we said, it's always been very exhausting watching NXT because there's no comedy relief. You know, it's just hard hitting. But I really like that. I really like that. Candice LeRae then taking on Dakota Kai, I believe. And as we said, we've got a Santana promo over on AEW. I watched you, but I couldn't message. I don't have a phone, but can I get a shout out? Yeah, shout out to Trey Gilbert. Shout out to you, buddy. No idea. They are legends, though. Right, Dakota Kai making her way out. I think we're done with that little sit-down interview with Santana. Dakota Kai's come out in a baseball shirt. I don't know why. Why has she come out in a baseball shirt? I don't even know what baseball shirt it is. Is that her own baseball shirt? Cap Kota. What's Cap Kota? What's Cap Kota? What's Cap Kota? What's going on? Have we got any Dakota Kai fans that know what Cap Kota is? Straight away goes for a big boot. Miss it. That was a hell of a sell. Double knees. Whoa. You made a mistake, says Darby Allin. Sooner or later, I'll find you. Kick to the side of the head. But in the meantime, suicide dive. You've got to be so careful there because there's not a great deal of room. Sammy, you busy at Revolution? Oh, kick to the face by Candice on NXT. Hit me up. Against the ropes. Candice again. Second time suicide dive. Right, we've come into some action now. It is Sammy. I think this will be Sammy versus Dustin Rhodes. Sammy Guevara. There we go. Boom. Days, is there a reason why WWE is keeping the Killer Cross brand a secret? Well, I mean, not that I've heard. I'm under the impression he's going to go to NXT. I don't think he's... I suppose in a way it's very interesting, isn't it? Because now, do you have to put all the newcomers to NXT? NXT is on network TV. Now, I know it gets the lowest ratings. I know it's the cool wrestling show. You would kind of feel that Killer Cross fits on that brand probably better than anywhere else. But, I mean, he is like a monster. He is very impressive, and you've got to look at the likes of Raw and SmackDown and think, you know, he would do a job on those brands as well. So I'm expecting him to go to NXT. I think for the moment he's just reported to the Performance Center, and I think they're just doing a little bit of work with him, just getting him ready for wherever he's gonna go. So yeah, I think they're just setting things up at the moment. And as I said, I think he'll go to NXT. It is the wrestling show, but we could be getting to the point now where people start appearing on different brands and don't always go to NXT first, which I think would be better personally. I think having someone like just show up, you know, Killer Cross just shows up at Raw, makes his debut there, and as a surprise. I miss those kind of surprises. Even their NXT call-ups, you know, last year were all really flat. They announced them all in advance. We've got Candice and Dakota on the second rope. Dakota was trying to suplex Candice to the outside. Big boot, and Candice falls down. The Fiend found his way in. I don't know how, because I did not let him in. I've always wanted to see Dustin beat up Justin Bieber. Wow. There you go. Your dreams can come true. Days, is there any way to listen to the Triple H conference call, or can you only read what he said? No, you can listen. If you go over to... Go to type into Google Triple H conference, and then I think the first result that comes back might be from Pro Wrestling Sheet from about 7 hours ago. And actually, if you go down to there, they did have the video. It's still there, actually. I'm just looking at it now. They've got the video, so you can listen to the exactly the call. You can listen to the audio. It's about 45 minutes long. Blood coming down the nose. Quite a nasty cut from Candice, who just gets booted to the outside. So blood from Candice, which is quite a bit of blood as well, not just a little bit. Over on AEW, we've got Dustin that's gone to the outside. He was just holding his nose. Sammy with a... Oh, kind of a suicide dive. Went through the middle rope. Hager is on the outside with Sammy. I do like what they're saying here. They're saying the disappointing thing about Sammy Guevara is that, you know, he relies too much on other people helping him. I like Dakota. She has it. Did you hear the news I told you during yesterday's NWA stream? I don't know, dude. You'll have to tell me what was that news. Bruce Pritchard needs to get rid of the dog food gimmick. It was fun at first, now it's old. I agree. I think he has. Days, would you eat dog food or the mandible claw? Well, I feel like the mandible claw probably wouldn't hurt. I think it can hurt, but I think also you can apply it where it wouldn't hurt, so I don't know. I'd be a little tempted to take my chances. If it was a mandible claw that's gonna hurt, then probably the dog food. I'm allergic to pain. Days, Matt heard a let me in voice and then threw himself in the lake and came out cured. Well, that's good. The Fiend says, Days, let me in. I did that a while ago. Days, it was regarding the passing of my uncle. Oh, yeah, I saw, as I said, you know, thoughts with you on that, bud. Yeah, I remember that from yesterday. Tough news, dude. Really tough news. Dakota's shirt. Yes, this is what I want to know. Dakota's t-shirt this week after having problems with her top 2 weeks ago against Tegan Nox. Dakota's wearing a t-shirt this week after having problems with her top 2 weeks ago. I didn't know. First of all, I didn't know she had problems with the top 2 weeks ago. But equally, I don't understand what it means. Cop Dakota, was it, or something? Cop Kai? Why do kids love The Fiend so much? Enough of The Fiend, it's Wednesday. Thunder Rosa to AEW. I wouldn't want to lose her from NWA, to be honest. I think they're just going to bring Cross there to learn WWE camera basics. That's a good shout. And the WWE way, then he'll get brought up quickly. Yep, I could see that. Daisy, you excited about WWE coming to the UK? What do you mean, dude? They come to the UK twice a year, so yeah. I mean, it's always exciting when they're over here. Candice going up top. She's got Dakota swinging net breaker. Wow, swinging net breaker from the second rope. Now she's looking for a springboard moonsault. No one home. Dakota Kai getting out of the way. Oh, nice. Taking the legs away, looking for a knee strike. Cap Kota, yeah, I don't get what Cap Kota means. Oof. Slam down. The Gargano escape. Gargano escaped by Candice. It's all Dustin Rhodes over on AEW. So Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara well underway. Decent little match. The Gargano escaped by Candice, and she rolls into the middle. I really don't think Dakota should lose this. Dakota's kind of like one of their big heels. And I wouldn't want to see her losing. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai wins. A quick little roll up. It's a clean win, but it's one of those just quick roll up wins. A lot of frustration on the face of Candice. And Dustin has just picked up the victory over Sammy as well. Candice is going after Dakota. Dakota falls and slips down. Oh! Candice face first into the bell. She just rung her bell. She just absolutely rung her bell. So Dakota Kai with a bell. Oh, hello. Who's this? Tegan. It is Tegan. Of course, we're building towards a big match at Portland. So I suppose no surprise that we're getting Tegan Nox. Street fight between Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai this Sunday. Don't forget Sunday. Don't make the same mistake as me. This Sunday. So, Dustin calling out Hager. Hager versus Dustin. Yeah. It's about time. Are you ever going to step in the ring? You're failing at your MMA career and you're failing here. You broke my arm and I want a... Did he have to say piece of your ass? Walk down here and accept it. Crowd want it. Crowd are behind it. Up next, Johnny Gargano against Cameron Grimes. February 29th. February 29th. When's that? Oh, that's a Saturday, innit? Oh, my God. So the 27th is Super Showdown. 28th is the SmackDown that Cena comes back. And the 29th, which I didn't even know there was a 29th of February, is... They should have called it AEW Leap Year. Why did they not call it AEW Leap Year? Silly AEW with their generic names. Right, we're at commercial break. Wow, we're nearly 45 minutes in, friends. We are nearly 45 minutes in. Isn't he? He ain't. He's like 7 foot or something. AEW is putting on a great show. Yeah? Do you know what they are? You're absolutely right. They are. Call it as you see it. And it has been a very good show. There's been some very good matches. The first match in particular. I mean, that last match was fine, but nice little call out. Tony says it's great to be here in Austin, Texas. Is it Britt? Britt Baker promo, just as we praised the show. Right, let's see. It was awful. Just a terrible promo, the first one. Second one, much, much better. Let's see what she does this week.
What I did to Yuka last week, is that the stupid question you're about to ask me right now?
That's the question. Yes.
Why do they keep making Tony do these as well?
What I did was stay true to my ethical and legal obligation as a dentist, which includes improving the overall health of the public.
She says that she is improving the overall health of the public.
Had extensive decay. It led to severe pulpal necrosis and the formation of a chronic apical abscess.
Cool.
That tooth, it was gonna come out anyway. That tooth needed to come out.
Britt says that tooth needed to come out.
For a favor. I don't even know her, and I took that tooth out for free. I extracted her tooth for...
She extracted her tooth for free. I'm wondering if this is going to be like a gimmick of hers. Is she going to be extracting teeth now?
She just wandered out here last week on our Dynamite stage. We can only assume...
Days, I'm going to go to my first WrestleMania this year. Amazing. Have a great time, buddy. Have a great, great time. Britt Baker is AEW's Baron Corbin. I think Britt would be a better fit in WWE. She's terrible on AEW. She would be perfect as the female representative of Undisputed Era. Wouldn't she? There's been a lot of people that have always wanted a woman to join Undisputed Era so that they could have held all of the gold, literally all of the gold. And yeah, she would make a lot of sense being over there. Days, it means Captain Dakota. Oh, okay. Thank you, John. Thank you. I didn't have a clue what a t-shirt meant. The crowd aren't feeling this. Shout out to Memnon, who says, "Oh, fist bump." I was trying to read what the bird was saying. This little bird. It's like you got a sweatband on and it's doing this. That's very cool. Thank you very much, my friend. Fist bump to you as well. And one to that bird. She's got 3 degrees. I love the 3 degrees. What did they sing? What did the 3 degrees sing? Did she just say she was part of the 3 degrees? I've got Temptation in my head. What is Temptation? Temptation. 3 degrees. When will I see you again? That's the 3 Degrees. What else did they sing? So, yeah, another... something happened. I am a woman in love. Wow. Let's give that a listen. Here we go. Probably shouldn't. Play. Dun, 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 dun. I thought this was Barbra Streisand. It isn't easy that you get to the chorus. Yeah! Don't you leave me, love. Whoa, good stuff, man. Had no idea that Britt Baker was a part of that crew. But there we go. Dr. Britt Baker, part of the 3 Degrees. We are at commercial break over on AEW. We've got, over on NXT, we've got Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano making his way out to take on Cameron Grimes. Gargano versus Cameron Grimes. There we go. Yeah, I know. I wasn't worried about it. I wasn't worried. Sing it, Daisy boy. Dave's thoughts on the Britt Baker promo. Fans were furious. I had a lovely time. I enjoyed it. I found a way to enjoy it. Yeah, why are they furious? I thought I just to be honest, I started to switch off from it, but I didn't feel like it was cringe like her one from a couple of weeks ago. Rusty Shackelford, that right there is why I love hanging with you. Shout out to you, dude. Shout out to you. Right, we are underway. We've got Cameron Grimes, who has been getting a lot of positive press. Cameron Grimes taking on Johnny Gargano. This should be a really, really exciting match. Really good match. Cameron Grimes is going to want to give everything here. And Johnny's a great person to be in the ring with. Very reminiscent of, Roderick Strong, what we were saying earlier about being able to make people look great. It's exactly what Johnny Gargano can do. So, yeah, this is quite a tasty little match. Daze, what's your thoughts on Jeff Cobb? I actually don't know what he's up to at the moment. I mean, he used to be over in New Japan quite a bit, and haven't seen him over there. Is he in Impact or MLW? I know he's not in AEW, and I know he's not in NWA, so I'm guessing he's in one of those promotions. I don't know what he's up to. I think he's in Impact. I really liked him. He's a great talent. Someone that I really thought would have found his way to NXT, to be honest. They've probably tried to get him. He was really hot a couple of years ago in particular when he was doing all that New Japan stuff. But I don't know what he's up to now. I don't know. The buzz has kind of died down quite a bit on him, you know. Right, we're going back to AEW. AEW is doing 50-50. It's over for them. The Bella Twins and Liger going into the Hall of Fame. Apparently so, yes. I like Cameron Grimes, says Robin. Fiend contacting Days. I'm coming for that tuft that you call a hairdo. Nyla Rose to be the first ever transgender wrestling champion tonight. Ah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well, I'd say on a major promotion, I honestly don't know if there's been a transgender champion on like an indie. promotion. There probably has, but they can really celebrate that as well if she does achieve it. Is it now? Can I just tell you, this really bothers me, right? This is something about wrestling that really bugs me. Why is this not the main event? Why is it just in the middle of the show? I've got no idea. They do this on WWE as well. Like, they'll have an Intercontinental Championship match, and it'll just be in the middle of the show. Why is it not the main event? You're talking about one of your titles. You're talking about the thing that people are having matches for. People are having matches to try and get themselves into contention for the titles. So surely the title matches have always got to be the big deals. Certainly on a normal weekly show. But the amount of times that title matches are just thrown into the middle of the card. Now, I do understand that there's a little bit in people changing the channel at the halfway point. You know, you want to keep them around. Start the match now. The match is going to run over into the second hour. That's going to help keep people into that second hour. And I'm sure they've got a decent main event lined up. But this is for the title. This is for the title. I just feel like it. If they were putting this as the main event, talking about it all throughout the show. Don't forget, guys. We've got that women's championship match coming up. Rio, our champion for X amount of days, taking on the native beast, or whatever she's called, Nyla Rose. Following what we saw last week, blah, 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 blah. They really could be building it up all throughout the show. And then building up to a women's... This is the top title. The top title in the women's division, and as the chat was just saying, this is potentially going to be the first transgender wrestler to win a major championship in wrestling. It just adds to it. It all adds to it. Just all keeps making it bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's in the middle of the card. Don't get it. Don't understand. And it's not. That's not a criticism of AEW. That because WWE do exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Right, we're still well underway with Gargano versus Cameron Grimes. It's really good. It's a really good match. Rio versus Nyla Rose is what we've got now. This is for the AEW Women's Championship. I am the table. Gets a mention. Botchamania getting a bit of a shout out. I am the table. Shout out Christopher Rogers. Hope you are well. I hope Rio wins, says Jim Gore. Not a fan of Nyla Rose. Fair play. Fair play. AEW ladies as main event. No thanks, Days. I mean, you've got the division. You've got the women, you've got the championship. I think by putting it in the middle of the card, you're kind of saying that you're kind of giving up on it in a way. That it's, I don't want to say that you're basically saying it's not worth watching because, you know, they've got a women's division. I don't think that putting it here makes sense. I think if you're gonna have a women's division, You've got to go for it. You can't be sat in the middle. You've got to go for it. And that means that any title, if this was like when their mid-card title comes in, because they'll have one, when they bring in the mid-card title, that should be main eventing Dynamites as well. I really do think that the title should always be the main event. That's what everyone is working towards. And I know there's a lot of criticism, rightfully so, of the AEW women's division. But that's down to making them book it better. Book it better. It's not the fault of the title. The title is too small for Nyla. I wonder if they'll change it. I wonder if they'll have, you know, like how Andre the Giant had one made that was extra large after WrestleMania 3. Do you think if she wins it, she'll have to go out and get one specially made that's extra large as well? Rio spine driven into the edge of the ring. Nyla Rose is a big woman. We want tables, says Leo. As far as transgender, surely we can agree that men are biologically stronger than women. So is that not unfair for the women's division, to say the least? Well, I mean, look, that's a whole big conversation to have, isn't it? Oh, drop kick into the corner. I think it's as clean as whatever you identify as is the division that you compete in. I mean, obviously, you've got people like Camille, who obviously is a woman, very attractive woman, but she is crazy working out. I mean, I've seen some of her workout videos. She is absolutely stacked. She is absolutely stacked. The stream has just cut out on Fight. I don't know if that's happened on TNT, but we've gone down. What's happened? Has anyone else lost this feed? Is it still showing on TNT? Because right now, I know it's not just me, because everyone on the Fight app is saying the same thing. Wrestling is fake, so is it legitimate? Rio couldn't beat up anyone, but she's champion. It's another fair point. I mean, I don't know how Rio would do in real life, because of course it is possible for smaller people to defeat larger people. We've seen it in the UFC. Rio is very, very small. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to know. This can I just say, this is huge for NXT right now, because I'm seeing people saying, well, let's see what NXT's got going on. Okay, I'm going to go and watch NXT. So people are actually leaving this right now to go and watch that. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's being shown. TNT is still good. Picture in picture on TNT. We're live on TNT. Can I show you? Right here, look. That's what we've got right now. I mean, it's not going to show properly, but that is the picture on Fight. On Fight right now, that is all we've got. Just blocks of colour. Blocks of colour. The chat is saying TNT is still up. Vince McMahon is the exalted one. Blame Vince. Jim Cornette's going to lose his mind over this. Gargano is running wild on NXT. Free the Broken Brilliance. I want a refund. Oh, we've got some flickering. We've got some flickering. I think it's coming back. There we go. It's back. It's back. It's back. It's back. Picture. So, not sure what that was, but there's about a minute or two there where it's gone. See, and if the women's match was in the main event, then you know what I mean? We wouldn't have missed any of this women's championship match, would we? Slam down Johnny Gargano over on NXT. AEW RIP Conspiracy. Days is 45. Brimful of Asher on a 45. It's a brimful of Asher on a 45. Just like China. Yes, just like China. That was going to be my next person I was going to mention. And Nicole Bass as well. She was quite big. So look at Nia Jax. Do you know what I mean? So I don't feel that Nyla Rose has got an advantage over all women. And let's face facts, pretty much all women have got an advantage over Rio. Spanish Fly by Cameron Grimes. It got hacked. I could hear See Wrestling UK crying from here when the app went blank. Dave, she is awesome. Triple H hacked it. WrestleMania 37 from SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. The new stadium opens July 2020. It'll be home to the Rams and the Chargers. That is true. He's over 50. Wow, I'm aging. Shout out to Muhammad Rafi, is it? Muhammad? I'm guessing it's Mohammed Rafi, but you've gone with Muhammad as a smaller spelling. Nia Jax has female bone structure and everything, though. I'm not... to be honest, I don't know what drugs and steroids and things Nyla Rose, what treatment she's on for her to transition to being a woman. I mean, I should imagine that she's not producing the testosterone that she was when she was a man, for example. So I don't know. I honestly don't know enough about it. All I do know is I haven't got an issue with her competing in a women's division. She identifies as a woman, and I think that's the cleanest way of doing it, you know? Knee to the back of the head to Rio. Cameron Grimes just taps out to Johnny Gargano. We're done with the first hour to Rio with a shoulder up. The AEW women's division doesn't just suffer from bad booking. Their women stars simply aren't yet at a high enough quality. Yes and no. I think there's strength there. I think we've seen from the likes of I think Britt Baker can put on a decent match. I think Bea Priestley can put on a decent match. I think Chris Statlander's been very impressive as well. So I'm a fan of Hikaru Shida, who I think is also decent. So I feel like they've got a few at the top of the card that they could use. I haven't seen enough of Nyla Rose, but she slammed down Rio. I honestly think Rio being champion has done more harm than good. I really think that. I think the AEW fans, the hardcore AEW fans, appreciate Rio. She always get a good reaction, a good response. Seems to be that they've taken to her. But I'd say that the like wider wrestling fans are very split. People online are very split. I'm a fan of AEW, and I'm not really sold on Rio. I'm not really sold on her. Just trying to fight out Rio here. I mean, fair play, look. Dragon suplex to Nyla Rose. And again, another one. Yeah, she is bleeding here. I tell you, it's worth her doing that, actually. Just showing some signs of strength. Whatever strength she's got. She's trying to grab the leg of Rio. Looking for a crossface? No. Basement drop kick. AEW started their women's division from the ground. Honestly, it's exceeded expectations, although they were really small. Yeah, I mean... oh, hello. We're back to Pete and Matt. I gotta watch this. Are they on a boat? Light bulb. Right, so they're on a boat, and we've got another segment coming up later tonight. I think there's, for me, there's no denying that the women's division has not been able to match what NXT can do. I feel like they have got some stars that they could utilize, and I think it could be booked better. Foot on the rope by Nyla Rose. Against the ropes, Rio. But I am enjoying what people are saying about it. It's very interesting to see what people have got to say about this women's division because people have got a lot to say. Sit down powerbomb. That was huge. 2. She got her. Right, you don't have to worry about Riho having the title anymore. It has changed hands. We do have a new AEW Women's Champion, Nyla Rose. They did it. They actually did it. Jim Gore says boo, but then Jake says thank God yes. Nyla, new champion. LSW saying the Dunham Riddle vignettes are fantastic. I gotta be honest, I did miss most of that second one. The first one was great, but I was watching this. Spear by Nyla Rose, which didn't look brilliant, but the sit-down powerbomb was epic. The sit-down powerbomb was great. I don't know what they're going to do with that belt. She'll have to wear it as a watch, won't she? She'll have to put it on her wrist like that. I'm the women's champ. Nyla Rose, women's champion. I think that one move. JR says he'd like to say that this is a shock, but it can't be considered as a shock. There we go. Chalmers says, I don't know how I feel. Well, let me know. Let me know. How do you feel? Are you happy or are you sad? In fact, just put that word, happy or sad. Make a call right now. The title's changed. Nyla Rose is the women's champion. How do you feel? Happy or sad? Simple. One word. Happy or sad? We're just watching her backstage. Is that Tony Khan? Tony Khan gives her like the most awkward hug in the world. Kenny Omega says congrats. You can see Leva Bates in the background. She's like, where's everyone at? You've just missed them all. They're right there. Where's the party? Have you got any bubbly? She wants to know where the bubbly is. Happy. Nyla is good. Sad, says Tommy B. Happy. Sappy, says Rusty Shackleford. Cringe. Happy. Sad. Anador says not bothered. Tony Khan! This is the kind of respect that I've gotten in this company. Certainly looks like more happy. Trini is indifferent. Thank God Rio is boring. Happy 10 out of 10, says Travanti. This is the NWA. Shout out to you guys. It says happy. Big Swole. Big Swole's there. I love Big Swole. I forgot about Big Swole. I think she's got a bit more work to do, Big Swole. She's only just joined the roster, really, but... Why is the bunny stood there? Why is the bunny who's walking around with the butcher and the blade and she's all sexy and she's all mysterious and all this kind of stuff? Why is she just stood with the other women? That doesn't make any sense at all. Next week, we've got Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong and Leo Rush versus Angel Garza. Okay, Leo Rush versus Angel Garza. The winner of this will go on. Oh, big news for next week on AEW. God, there's so much happening. So much happening. I think if I've got to choose, I'm going to say happy. I'm going to say happy. Oh. Jericho's been looking for an assassin. Did someone hear that news? Jeff Cobb? Someone must have known. One of you in was there rumours about that? Because I did not hear them rumours. Jeff Cobb is the hoss that they need. Jeff Cobb, it could be a game changer. Oh, here he is. Jeff Cobb. Oh, wow, there he was. He's gone. you got to see a few seconds of him. Big talent. As Jericho just said, travelled the world. Competed in, I want to say MLW and Ring of Honor, maybe Impact, and definitely New Japan. And he had real buzz around him, like a couple of years ago. And wow, yeah, Jeff Cobb. The only thing is that, they're bringing him in to face Moxley, so they're putting him right at the top, but surely they're putting him up there to lose? They're putting him up there to lose, surely, because, there's no way Jeff Cobb's beating Moxley next week. Not with Moxley building towards a title match at the end of the month, so I don't know, I'm kind of torn. I love it. Jeff Cobb, brilliant. Totally on board. If you don't know, you're gonna know. Someone I would have loved to have gone to NWA, actually. If this is the NWA podcast is around, I'm sure they would know a little bit more about him. Because, as I said, he's kind of been floating around. He might even have done some stuff with the NWA before. But, yeah, he's a big guy. And he's gonna really bring something that I don't think they've got a great deal of. I think that's a big signing. I think that's really cool. Jeff Cobb and Moxley are going to go to war. Cobb is an absolute beast. When did Jeff Cobb become an assassin? Cobb was not at Impact. Okay. I thought he was signed with Ring of Honor. I don't know if that means his relationship with Ring of Honor now, or if he's gone to AEW. Either way, great signing. Completely agree. Cobb was Ring of Honor. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember. I've been very honest in saying I don't watch Impact. We did a couple of watch-alongs at the start of the year for Impact, and those are amongst the only shows I've ever seen outside of watching the key matches and key talking points throughout the history of TNA and Impact. But outside of that, I've never watched. So, looks like Ring of Honor anyway. Looks like he was in Ring of Honor and certainly New Japan. But yes, that's a great signing. That is a genuine great signing. Apparently, Cobb is still signed to Ring of Honor. They're just doing a crossover. I'll tell you what, that's extra interesting because Ring of Honor are doing a crossover with NWA. So, what does that mean? Yeah? How fluid can this arrangement become? Because if we could see the likes of Nick Aldis, if we could see the likes of Thunder Rosa, if we could see the likes of they've got so many big names, question mark, that we could see some awesome stuff. NWA have got Eli Drake and James Storm, so pretty sure the AEW crowd would love to see those guys again. MJF has got smaller hands than Donald Trump. There we go. That is not my words. The words of that sign right there. AEW are killing it tonight. They are. They are. I'm telling you, I think they've put on the better show this week. I really do. Liam Costa, thank you very much, buddy, saying I can't watch AEW because I'm watching NXT and then you on my phone. You probably shouldn't do that, dude. I know it's nice to be a part of this community, and you know that you are a part of this community. But man, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. It's tough decisions, isn't it, on a Wednesday with so much wrestling on at the same time, and then the community we've got here as well. MJF has come down, is ripping up some signs. He's taken a busted open radio sign and he's hurled a chair at it. Question mark versus Orange Cassidy. Yes. Matt Hardy, all elite. Well, I did wonder then for a second when he started saying about, you're going to have to face someone next week. But, yeah, not Matt Hardy this time. Prince Isaac Balor, welcome back. Imagine if they do John Cena versus Killer Cross. That would be a good way of putting him over. It'd be a great way of putting him over, yes. Days Jeff Cobb has also wrestled with PWG about 2 years ago. Thanks, bud. PWG, such a lot of hype around that promotion. I think they only do like shows once a month. But people, like, they sell out in like an hour, the tickets, if that. So, yeah, PWG tend to put on really stacked cards. So it doesn't surprise me that Jeff Cobb has appeared on at least one of those. His hands are not as small as the Fiend's. MJF is with Scooby. Tell you what, MJF has got one hell of a tan. I don't know what he's been up to, but he's got a hell of a tan. Crowd are chanting a-hole MJF. NXT is the go-home show, so it was always going to be weak. That's true. Good point. We've said time and time again, when it comes to go-home shows, they're just putting the final touches to things. So, you don't tend to get that many shocks and surprises. It's just kind of planting the final seeds, telling the final bits of the stories before you actually get to pay-per-view. I mean, this has been a good show. It's been a solid show. But, I don't know. I just feel like AEW have just brought a bit more this week. Luchasaurus is here, and of course he has come not alone. The whole Jurassic Express are here. Marko Stunt and Jungle Boy. Son of Luke Perry. Yeah, he's come down to the ring on his own. This is going to be a good spotlight for Jungle Boy. I'm not normally a fan of tag teams having singles matches. But I don't mind it when it makes sense. Like, I'm not a fan of seeing Dash Wilder versus Kofi Kingston. I'm not really into that. That match doesn't excite me. But I'm into this because I really rate Jungle Boy, and you only get to see so much of him in a tag match. Him taking on MJF makes sense. MJF can get a win. Jungle Boy is obviously in a tag team, so he's not really expected to be as good as MJF when it comes to singles wrestling. So he's not going to lose anything by losing this match. But it's also going to be a really good platform, a really good spotlight for him, so makes sense. NXT is usually good. Haven't been able to catch most of it because AEW is just on fire. Yeah, seems like everyone's enjoying AEW right now. The rumor about WWE wanting Jay Lethal. Have they given up on that, or are they still pursuing him? I think they've given up. I don't think that's happening. They've had ample opportunity to bring him in. I mean, I'm not sure what his contract looks like. I don't know when his contract expires, but no, sure. Again, someone else where there was a lot of buzz, a lot of hype around him, and things kind of settled down in recent times. The wrestling world, it waits for no one. Apart from CM Punk, it seems to wait for CM Punk. The wrestling world waits for no one, except CM Punk. We've been waiting since 2014. MJF and Jungle Boy face to face. I always thought that Jungle Boy was on the smaller side. I suppose it's because he's always standing next to Luchasaurus, but when you actually see him in the ring with MJF, they're both the same height. MJF losing his cool a little bit, goes to the outside. Angel Garza, Lio Rush, we haven't really been paying it that much attention, to be honest. This has been an AEW week. Yeah, obviously the winner here will go on to face Jordan Devlin for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Little roll up by Garza. 2, kick out by Rush. AEW's pay-per-views is matches we see a million times in WWE. I would personally face CM Punk anywhere, anytime. I could see CM Punk going into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, definitely one day. Definitely he deserves it. He deserves it. CM Punk versus Cena could happen. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Cena is standing in the ring at SmackDown and CM Punk's music hits? With the history that they've got. Into the barricade goes Jungle Boy. I mean, look, those kind of rumours, those kind of conversations have been happening for 6 years. So, Arn Anderson backstage watching on. See wrestling, agreed, he is very good. Honestly, Jungle Boy is amazing in the ring. Yeah, I agree. He really is. It's great to actually see him get a chance to perform. Get this spotlight on him. I'd be happy with CM Punk versus No Way Jose. I would actually really want CM Punk versus Triple H now. The irony being that was the straw that broke the camel's back. At WrestleMania 30, the plan was CM Punk versus Triple H. And CM Punk was like, no, forget it. I've got no intention of facing your doofus son-in-law. And it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Right, Jordan Devlin's here. Lio Rush was the winner of that match, picking up the victory against Angel Garza. So it is going to be Jordan Devlin versus Lio Rush. How great is this for Jordan Devlin? He's on the same brand as Finn Balor now. Can really just pick his brain whenever he's around. So, next week's huge, isn't it? Next week, Lio Rush against Jordan Devlin. Cruiserweight Championship match. Bet it doesn't main event. And also, Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong. I think that's next week as well. I bet that main events. Next Tuesday, Keith Lee is going to be on backstage. Oh, bask in his glory. Mark Henry. What's Mark Henry doing? Hello, Mark Henry. This is cool. We're just seeing a little video package of big men. He says, today in NXT, there are 2 incredible athletes, 2 incredible big men. The matches those 2 have put on have been just mind-blowing. So we're building towards Keith Lee against Dominik Dijakovic again. But I don't mind. I really don't mind. Some of the best matches in recent NXT history have come from those 2. There's Brock. Brock's reaction was amazing, wasn't it? Big boy! Big boy! Vape Ross Vape says MJF is the best heel since Piper. And he is 23 years old. I kind of feel like MJF needs a bit more of a gimmick. If you think about Roddy Piper, he was so Scottish. Like, he used to play the bagpipes. He'd come down with the kilt. He had Piper's Pit, which was all done out like Scottish theme and tartan. And I just kind of, I don't know. I feel like MJF could have a talk show. MJF could have a Piper's Pit kind of a thing. But what would it be based on? What would an MJF talk show look like? What does MJF represent? I don't know. In my mind, I'm just seeing Burberry, because he always has a Burberry scarf. Jungle Boy, another suicide dive, 2 in a row. Kind of feel like if they could just get something. Because I'd hate to give him like a generic. You know, if he had a talk show, because he deserves one, MJF has to have a talk show segment. He was born to have a talk show segment. But I'd hate it to be like MJF TV. MJF, I'm better than you show. Days, Cobb is the start of Ring of Honor and AEW working together. It really could be. That moment of Keith Lee just punting Adam Cole about 15 foot was gold. It was brilliant. The one where he puts him into the crowd. It's been so... Keith Lee has had so many GIFs, hasn't he? If you think about it. That one where boom, knocking Adam Cole, and the other one where he like emerges. It's all been a lot of fun. Less talk shows, please. Only Super Charisma. The Rock didn't have one. Well, that's a good point. The Rock didn't have one. I don't think it would have hurt The Rock if he did have one, to be honest. And I feel like with MJF, you could keep him doing promos, but it obviously didn't hurt Piper, having Piper's Pit. It's not something you've got to do every week. But I feel like AEW need to have a talk show segment. You've got Tony doing interviews at the top of the entrance ramp, but you can do some great angles when you've got like superstars interviewing other superstars. There was some really cool stuff that came out of Piper's Pit. So I think it doesn't have to have one. You are absolutely right. It's a really good point. The Rock didn't. You are right. There isn't one on AEW, so if you're gonna introduce one, if you're gonna have the superstars do one, which I would, I do feel that it brings something different rather than just having the commentators interviewing and backstage interviewers. Then MJF would be top of the list for me. It's his strength, isn't it? Talking is what he does best. He's good in the ring, don't get me wrong, but I do think he's a better promo than in-ring wrestler. MJF just screamed Brandy can get a real man and grabbed his junk. 1, 2, shoulder up, kick out by MJF. Hello, is that Wardlow? Mr. Mayhem? I don't think we've really seen anything that justifies the Mr. Mayhem title. Here he is, look, here's Mr. Mayhem. He can't do anything by himself. He can't do anything honest. Says Brandy Rhodes. They're just running through the Portland card, what we're going to see at TakeOver. We've got less than half an hour to go until the end of the shows. Amazingly, we've already been going for an hour and a half on NXT and AEW. We will stick around after. We will stick around for 2, 3. MJF gets the win. Days, what did you think of the Lashley sisters? What do you think Lashley's sisters think of Lana? In my mind, I think they're really nice to her face, but then behind her back, they're just ripping into her. So secretly, I think that they probably think she's a bit cheap. But to her face, they're like, oh, you are so beautiful. I just got that vibe from them. I think they're two-faced. In the one segment that I've seen them, they came across as two-faced. Wardlow is in there, and Mr. Mayhem planting down Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. That's what I want to see. I want to see Luchasaurus and Wardlow go at it. That's a match I want. Tough match to book winner-wise. I suppose you'd have to give it Wardlow. But, yeah, I'd love to see that. And Luchasaurus is actually calling Wardlow to the ring. But I think it's just a tease. We got Bianca Belair in the ring. Eric says, Days! Mark Henry! Mark Henry what? Mark Henry... Lee Dijakovic promo was good. What's good on Body Slam? Oh, what's good on Body Slam? What do you mean? What's good on Body Slam? I don't understand that last sentence. Yeah, I saw it. It was very good. Very, very good. It's nice actually looking at a certain type of wrestler, a certain style of wrestling. Like they were looking at giants and big men and what they've brought in the past. And they were showing you like Andre, and they were showing you Yoko, and they were just kind of just quick little clips and bits and bobs. And obviously talking about two of the biggest men we've got in NXT at the moment, in Dijakovic and Keith Lee, who are going to collide over the North American Championship. So I completely agree. Completely agree. I thought it was very well done. Bianca Belair versus Santana Garrett, is it? Santana Garrett. Nice. Oh! Look at the athleticism. Cartwheel into the ropes. Springboard moonsault. He's got Santana Garrett up face first into the turnbuckle pad. We are at commercial break over on AEW, and 1, 2, 3, Belair with the win. Belair with a squash win, and surely Rhea's coming out. Surely Rhea's coming out. She's asking for a microphone. Days, the streak continues on TV, but on AEW. What ratings? Rhea Ripley is worrying about Charlotte like I'm not even here. Hello? Hello? Here's Rhea. Here's Rhea. So knew that Rhea would come out, make her presence felt. Rhea on the entranceway. I'm just wondering, Charlotte. You know, Rhea interrupted Charlotte. Could Charlotte interrupt Rhea? I suppose they wouldn't necessarily want to take the spotlight away from this weekend. Yeah, Rhea doesn't look phased. We've obviously got a big match this weekend, and that's what they're going to focus on here. Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Seemingly the winner goes on to face Charlotte at WrestleMania. Brock's streak continues. He's on AEW. NXT seems too predictable this week. Go home show. Go home show. Rhea says, I assure you, I'm not looking past you. I'm looking at you. She's a good promo, Rhea. She's a very good promo. Oh! Big slap by Rhea. Forearm strike by Bianca Belair. Rhea Ripley goes down. KOD. So Belair standing tall in this segment. What does that mean? Normally, if you stand tall on the go home, you lose the match at the pay-per-view. So it could be Rhea picking up the win. I would really like it to be a draw. I would really like it to be a draw. I want Belair at WrestleMania. She's just like dancing around her. Spinning her hair around. Kishida versus Cole is up next. Oh, we got Pac over on AEW. He's in a corridor now. I'm getting a Jack the Ripper vibe. Look at him working out.
I understand why you've neglected all of your friends in their moment of peril, and I understand that all of
He says, I understand why you've neglected your friends in their moment of peril. I am the goddamn best. We've got Riddle and Dunn. We've got very different promos going on here. They're at an airport now. They're loading the trophy onto a plane. They're trying to sneak. They're trying to stow away onto an aeroplane. Triple H. It's Triple H's flight. So there we go. They've stowed away on Triple H's plane. Wow. Wouldn't it be really cool if Triple H was actually going on holiday for a romantic weekend with Steph first, and they end up having to tag along? That would be amazing. That would be a brilliant way to end these vignettes. They land in, like, Hawaii. Bro. Steph, bro. I just love the idea of Steph sitting there, Triple H, candles, romantic dinner, camera widens to a wide shot. You've got Pete Dunne sat this side, Matt Riddle sat that side. Oh! Book it, Vince. Book it. Eric says, Body Slam was the wrestling movie. Oh, yes. I remember. Started a whole movie conversation. And it contained Piper, Alberno, Dirk Benedict, I didn't know the Walt Samoans were in it. I didn't know that. And Tonga Kid, yeah. I still need to watch that film. I haven't watched it. I still need to watch that film. The match has been made. Shout out to you, Eric. Yes, thank you for clearing that up. It did momentarily confuse me, but yeah, I do need to watch that. Because it genuinely looks like a film I would love. Next, we've got this eye for an eye match. Moxley with that eye patch. Matt Riddle just smokes weed and wrestles. He is the new Rob Van Dam. Oh dear, well, that means that NXT is going to get booted off Twitch. Gargano versus Kushida. Kushida, man. Kushida deserves to be at WrestleMania. It was such a big signing. Okay, and over on Le Champion making his way out. Santana versus Jonathan Moxley. Oh, there they are. He's making their way into the arena. They've got a little booth. That's nice, isn't it? Look at that. That's nice. They've got their own little box. They can sit out, watch the action, jump into that little room. Do those rooms have their own toilets? That'd be amazing. That's something that I've often wondered. If you get one of those boxes to watch the sporting event, you've got your own little box. There's loads of seats there for you and your mates. That room behind, has it got its own personal toilet? That'd be awesome if it does. I know you can go in and have like something to eat and a few little bit of bubbly. I ask the big questions. That's why you come here. I ask the big questions. I want to know, does that have toilets? Days, what talk show do you think is better? Piper's Pit, Miz TV, or King's Court? I personally love Miz TV. I've got to, dude, I've got to say Piper's Pit. The iconic stuff that came out of that show. I mean, it was on Piper's Pit that we got Hogan versus Andre at WrestleMania 3. Hulk Hogan was being interviewed by Roddy Piper, and then Andre came out, ripped the crucifix off the neck of Hogan. Obviously the most iconic one, Jimmy Snuka, with that coconut getting smashed over his head as well. Well, one of the very first ones that I saw was WrestleMania 5. I can't remember the name of the celebrity. Oh, who was it? I can't remember his name, but he was smoking. Do you remember WrestleMania 5? It was smoking, and he was blowing the smoke into the face of Roddy Piper. And he was like, Mr. Dom, I'm gonna ask you one more time. Would you mind not doing that? And he ends up laying him out. I think he ends up squirting him with like a fire extinguisher. There was tons of iconic moments on Piper's Pit. We've got One-Eyed Moxley in the arena. I think they've put a couple of eye patches over after the disaster that was New Japan. If you didn't watch it, his eye patch came off. He then had a bandage underneath. That came off. And then there's a good 10 seconds where at the end of the match, he's got both his eyes open and he's like, yeah! Oh, the pain. Oh, yeah, it's definitely not healed. For 10 seconds there, it felt good, but oh, no. And now it's so bad. It's got so bad, now it needs 2 eye patches. Eye for an eye. We got Tommaso cutting a very passionate promo on NXT, by the way. Morton Downey. Thank you, Joe. Morton Downey. I don't know who it is. Morton Downey came across like a right tool. I remember hating that Morton. No idea. Never heard of him. Still don't know who he is. But, yeah, I remember as a kid thinking, can you stop doing that to Roddy, please? It was rude. He was asking him nice, can you stop smoking? And he just kept smoking away. Well, there we go. Very passionate promo from Tommaso Ciampa. Shock the system. I asked him if he liked Scooby-Doo. Have you seen the movie They Live? Fix the board. The match thing's wrong. What? Santana versus Moxley's right. Oh, yes, it's not Gargano, it's Cole. Adam Cole, baby. He was similar to Jerry Springer. Oh, okay. Ciampa loves Goldie. Right, we're underway. Santana, this is an eye for an eye match. Ortiz is on the outside as well. Dun 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 dun. Adam Cole, baby! Tell you what, Adam Cole against Kishida. Really tasty way to end this show. We've got the NXT champion taking on Kishida. I mean, I can't see Kishida winning. I can't see him beating Adam Cole, which is a real shame, but what a match this is going to be. Adam Cole against Kishida. Must have been difficult for Kishida to watch Wrestle Kingdom, because had he stayed in New Japan, he would have been on that card. Yeah. Santana is trying to... look, you can see Moxley's eye again. That eye patch has slipped over again. Will be the first episode with him out of contract. If Ring of Honor is working... AEW NWA might too. You can see Moxley's eye. You can, yes. Shout out to Jesse. Hope you're well, my friend. Days, I don't know if I should bask in his glory or feast your eyes at TakeOver Portland. I think it's bask in his glory, mate. I think you've got to bask. I think wherever you've got an opportunity to bask, you've got to take that opportunity. Those kind of opportunities don't come around that often. Neither do the opportunities to watch Adam Cole against Kishida, which, to be honest, is what I'm leaning towards over Santana against Moxley. I'm not really into this eye for an eye stuff. But I am definitely into Kishida. And I'm definitely into Adam Cole. So I'm definitely leaning this way. I met The Rock in the early 90s when he was still a heel at a car dealership and got tickets to a house show. I was the only one cheering for him. He fought the Oddities. Wow. That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. I wish we could get Matt and Pete on Gilligan's Island. How long before WWE do a Riddle and Dunn cartoon? Well, I don't know if we need the cartoon, but I could do with more vignettes. My only concern is that they're going to split them up very soon and they'll go against each other, which means we won't get more vignettes. Kushida gets thrown into the steps. We've got 10 minutes left. Don't forget, we will be sticking around for about half an hour after, just so we can share our thoughts on the show, see what you guys have got to say. I have been trying to jump into the chat as much as possible. Shout out to John Elite 45. We've got an armbar on the outside of the ring, so not going to pick up a victory there, but can certainly do some damage. And there we go, some damage done to the elbow. Scooby-Doo is standing up right now in AEW, so we can see him in all of his glory. Oh, bask in his glory. Where's DDP? Oh, we haven't seen. NXT goes 5 minutes after. Sometimes, some weeks it hasn't. I actually don't know where they are with the overrun anymore. I'm not too sure. There's been a couple of weeks recently where it's finished bang on the hour. Kick to the arm by Kushida. Through the ropes goes Cole. Kushida flips over. Nice. Knocks Cole to the outside. Kushida, baseball slide to the outside. There's Cole with a big boot. So there we go. Guessing we're going to the final ad break for NXT. Such a shame because they do get in the way of the flow of the matches. Shame they can't find a way of I would be happier if we got more of the match and then we had to sit through ad break, quick promo, ad break, another long match. Do you know what I mean? Still get the same amount of ad breaks in, but just disrupt the matches less. Don't make the matches shorter. Push the ad breaks closer together. So rather than having them evenly spaced out, push them together so you get more of an uninterrupted match so the story can really come through. I would do that, and then, I mean, I don't know, maybe time-wise you just can't make it work. Or perhaps there's some kind of regulation that says you can't move. They have to be evenly spaced, or I don't know. There'd be the argument as well that as soon as a match finishes, would people turn the channel over because they know they've got a lot of ads to sit through? Turn the channel over for a few minutes. Don't worry about that because it's only going to be a promo. Watch this, go back. I suppose there's pros and cons, isn't there? Cover by Santana. Only gets a 2. Wow, it's already 9:52. It's flown, bud. It's flown. Certainly, the second hour in particular has really flown by. I think it really helped that title change. I think the women's title change really has helped push through that second hour. Santana on the top. Oh, knees up. Knees up by Moxley. We've got Inner Circle watching on from the stands. So is Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo's got a smile on his face. Not a sentence I thought I'd be saying tonight. Ortiz getting up on the outside. He's got that sock full of snooker balls. He's doing it very obviously. I don't understand. Ortiz, why didn't he just get up and just quickly do it? Instead, he gets up really slow. Onto the edge, gets into the perfect position, goes back. Oh, I've been spotted. Does he think, like, if he moves slow, no one's gonna see him or something? I don't know what he was doing. Climbed up and he was like, "Oh, here we go. I'm gonna do." How long did he expect Moxley to stay there as well? I don't think it's the sharpest knife in the drawer. That's better. That's better from him. Drinking a beer, spits in the face of Moxley. And now he's got a little shimmy. Look, he's pleased with himself. He's done something good. That should be the celebration, shouldn't it? Whenever he does, doesn't matter if he wins a match, just whenever he does anything good. One of them. Frog splash by Santana. Armbar by Kushida. 4 minutes to go. 4 minutes. Inner Circle are worried. Sammy Guevara looks like a right tool. I'm sorry, but he does. He's got his Calvin Kleins pulled up. He looks like he belongs in a 90s boy band. He's got like a backwards cap. He's got no t-shirt on. He's got a jacket on. He's got Calvin Kleins, jeans. And it's like... I thought he was going to start singing Bye Bye Bye. Kick by Kishida. Kishida going off the ropes. Gets slammed down by Cole. Big knee strike. Kishida goes down. 2. Kishida kicks out. Oh, what is going on? Moxley can't see. Santana can't see. They plants him. paradigm shift. I was having lovely flashbacks then of Jake Roberts against Rick the Model Martel from WrestleMania. Do you remember the blindfold match? And they just spent most of the match. And Jake did that system, didn't he? He was like... And the crowd went, no! No! Yes! So then he'd go in that direction. It was a really... For what it was, as a kid, I loved that match. No! No! Yeah! There's not enough crowd participation in matches. Obviously, Moxley getting attacked after the match. Inner Circle have come down. WrestleMania 7, was it? I thought it was 6. Yeah, 7. Could be 7. Could be 7. I believe you. I believe you, my friend. Days, what's up? It's Josh. I'm from the UK. Shout out to you, Josh Bridge. I'm from the UK. I'm from a place called Stourbridge. So you get extra points for having that as a surname, Bridge. So you've got a lot of points there, Josh. Well done. Well done, my friend. Shout out to you, buddy. Sammy going up top. That was nice. Nice. Kishida dips down. Oh, super kick. Down goes Kishida. Quick cover. 2. Shoulder up. Le Champion. Here we go. Judas effect. We've got Miz and Mrs. coming up very, very soon. Moxley getting knocked out. Look, hey, look at Jake Hager. That is all over the internet. That moment right there is going to be all over the internet. Jake Hager running in, going. I can see GIFs being made right now. Cobb's here. Jeff Cobb's here. Jeff Cobb's here. Jeff Cobb's bounty hunter. His mercenary. Picking the bones of Moxley. Look at the strength. Ah! Ah! The strength. Wow. What a move by Jeff Cobb. Kishida driving his knee into the neck. He's got a submission hold. Oh, reverse small package too. Oh, Adam Cole real close there. He's got Kishida up. Kishida roll through. Cole reversing. 2. No, reversed again. No. 2.9. Back and forth. Big way to end the show for AEW by bringing out Jeff Cobb. Great. Great signing. He looks awesome. Jeff Cobb, oh my god. It's cool, innit? So, AEW has just ended. Get your scores in. Get your scores in. AEW 10 out of 10. AEW 9.5. Kicks by Kushida. AEW far better again. AEW has just finished, yes. You can get your scores in. I'm going to give you my thoughts in a sec. I just want to see the end of this because I don't think it's got long. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Cole against the ropes. Knee to the back of the head. Knee to the back of the head. Kushida rolled over. 2, 3. And there it is. Adam Cole wins. Hard fought match. Hard fought match. Any surprises or anything, do we think? I'm not expecting. I mean, like, maybe Tommaso? Take over Portland this weekend. We are doing the watch along. There we go, Adam Cole celebrating. I'm just waiting if there's going to be any dramas, last-minute dramas. There's nothing happening. Oh, hello, something's happening. It's got to be Ciampa. It is Ciampa. So, Ciampa's music hits, and here he is. It's great. I love his music. It's great music. He wants Goldie. He wants Goldie. Joe Mikulacek says, Days, check Thunder Rosa's shop. You'll love it. Okay, I'll do that after. I'll do it as soon as NXT finishes. Oh, what has she put up? What's she selling? What would I love? We're just watching Tommaso. This has overrun, by the way. Those of you that said that it could overrun, you were right. Been a few weeks recently where it's ended bang on time. I thought it would do it again, and certainly when they advertised Miz and Mrs. But it has overrun. Tommaso slowly making his way down and walking around the ring. No. Adam Cole in the ring. Tommaso on the edge of the ring. Dad is home. There's a slight Dad is home chant. I can't believe that takeover is on Sunday. I'm so excited. I swear it's normally on a Saturday. Do you think they've moved it because of UFC? It's not the biggest UFC show, but it's decent size. There we go. Look, he walks around. He's staring at Goldie. Adam Cole holds it up. Take over Portland. I take my life back over my dead body, says Cole. I like being able to hear what they can say. Well, there we go. It didn't come to blows or anything along those lines, but nice little moment all the same. But I think, honestly, I think the endings of the show really told the biggest story. NXT this week was about building towards TakeOver Portland, which is exactly what we've just finished on. Whereas in regards to AEW, yes, they're building towards Revolution, but it's still a little bit down the road. So they could afford to give us some of those shocks and surprises that go towards actually telling the story. So Jeff Cobb, I mean, that's Jeff Cobb, huge. We've had Jeff Cobb. We've had a title change. I think the matches were strong. I'm not gonna say that it's 10 out of 10 because I think there's a couple of moments like the Sammy Dustin match I thought was fine. It was good. It was strong. The main event I thought was okay. But I think those are areas that they could have maybe tweaked. But it was all right. I do like Dustin calling out Jake Hager after and that match being made for Revolution. The Jeff Cobb surprise I think was excellent. I think I would have preferred actually for Jericho to have not mentioned Jeff Cobb. I'm starting to think about it now. Why did he mention it? Why did he mention it and then Jeff Cobb come down? Would it not have been better for Inner Circle to have destroyed Moxley at the end? Then Jeff Cobb appears. People lose their minds. Commentators could be like, Jeff Cobb's here? Jeff Cobb's here? Who's he here for? And like really sell the idea of, is he coming to save Moxley? Has he come to help Jericho? and you don't know which way it's going to go. And then, of course, he attacks Moxley and Inner Circle stand tall. I wonder why they announced it in advance. I wonder why they just took that surprise away from us. So I think I would have booked that a little bit better. But these are all very, very, like, minute little things. But for me, I think they're just the little things that stop it being 10 out of 10. So on that ground, I'm feeling a 9. I'm feeling a 9. I think this might be the highest rating I've given AEW. 8.75 says John Elite. Wow, we're pretty close in agreement then, bud. We're pretty close in agreement. Joe says 10 out of 10 because they had Scooby-Doo. You're right, I did not factor that in. You are absolutely right. I should have took that into account. If I'd have took that into account, then we would have been in 10. We would have been in 11. We would have been in 11 territory. I think that NXT is really hard to score this week. I think it's really hard to score. The matches were all right. I think the vignettes were fun. Matches maybe could have been a little better. I can't remember any match that really blew me away, but the matches were pretty solid. I tend to say an average show is 6.5, and then as things happen, I go up from there. I don't think there was anything I hated. I'm just going to stick with the 6.5. I've said before, I start at a 6.5. I can't see any reason why I'd go down from it, but equally, I can't see any reason why I would go up from it. The vignettes were good, but I don't know if they were good enough to really change that. I really feel like that's a pretty fair reflection of the night. I'm happy with AEW. NXT, I would only decrease, to be honest. I'm toying as to whether it should be a 6, and I don't know why. My gut feeling is a 6 to a 6.5. Just average. Blame it on the go home. NXT normally much better than this. Normally much better, but I think there's real daylight this week between the two shows. So, Days, if the Exalted One does that free Brody Lee to save Moxley, no, maybe. Can someone tell me what he said? Because of course, you barely watched NXT tonight. Well, I had them both on, and I was going between the two. But I always have to go with whatever holds my attention more. And in previous weeks, I've been accused of watching NXT more than AEW. But equally, I would say in those weeks, I found NXT to be the better show. It comes down to the fact of they're on at the same time. It's up to them to have my attention and to hold my attention. And if it's a match that's not holding my attention, and there's something better or something I perceive to be better on the other show, then I'll go and watch that. And I think that it is a sign, a reflection of the fact that AEW was better this week. They had the segments that held my attention more. Obviously, going into the shows, I never know which one I'm going to watch more. I am impartial. If anything, you could say that I maybe naturally lean a little bit more to NXT because I'm a big WWE fan, and I definitely want to see NXT succeed. I'd like to see AEW succeed as well. I feel like competition is a good thing. So, yeah, I was watching AEW more because it was holding my attention more. In regards to the Exalted One, I always have to have the sound turned down. So, can someone tell me what was actually said? Evil Uno said that Christopher Daniels is the Exalted One. Because that's a pretty big deal if he did. I'm guessing we didn't hear from Christopher Daniels, and I'm guessing he is going to deny it. Days, I'm going to go back and watch that Triple H conference call. I will see you later, my friend. Yeah, see you later, bud. Thank you for joining us. I would prefer AEW to move to Thursday. It would help both shows. Ugh, I so agree with that. I could not agree with that more. I really feel like there's a lot of AEW fans that would watch NXT and vice versa. I think there's a lot of NXT fans that would watch AEW. I would. I would do both. We would do streams for both shows. And it would be so much better. So much better. Because I will be the first to admit that I do miss out on a lot of stuff. As I've said, I have to have the sound down, so I miss out on a lot of what gets spoken about on commentary. And then, you know, I'll be watching something here. You know, I think it was a title change at the time. I think it was the Rio Nyla Rose thing, which meant I missed out on the second vignette. So, yeah, you know, there's no way of doing it. I know I'm always going to miss something, but by and large, I think we pretty much pick up on a lot of stuff. And thankfully, you guys are here to fill in the gaps. Who is Christopher Daniels and the other douches? I preferred AEW. NXT was watered down. What did you think of AEW tonight? I really liked it. Really enjoyed it. Yes, I'm gonna check out that Thunder Rosa stuff. Let me go onto her Twitter. Vape Ross Vape says Cobb was only on a per match contract with Ring of Honor. Ooh, okay. Cobb was only on a per match. I can't see anything for Thunder Rosa. NXT won't move. It was on Wednesdays first. That's true. What, that Valentine's picture? There's a Valentine's picture of Thunder Rosa and question mark. That is very cool. That she's selling. I really like this shirt as well. This is I know this is not connected, but whilst I'm there, it's a really nice Thunder Rosa shirt. You can kind of see through her boobs, which I totally didn't. Is she wearing green? She's wearing green. Look at that. You can see through her boobs. But there she is anyway. It's a really nice. It's not coming across because it doesn't work with green screen. But it's a really cool looking like yellow shirt and image of her, and it's got like loads of moves that she does. It's a shirt I had an eye on. I think it looks really smart. So, yeah, if you're a Thunder Rosa fan, check out her shop. Right, let's read these comments. Days, are you going to pay attention to the steel cage match and Jeff's debut match? Am I going to pay attention to the steel cage match and Jeff's debut match? Well, yes. Yeah, of course. I will be watching them. I'll have to watch NXT at the same time. If the cage match is going to be awful, it's just going to be slow and plodding, and it's just going to be Wardlow beating up Cody, and it's just, there's no pace to it or drama or anything like that, then can't guarantee that whatever NXT are putting on is not going to grab my attention more. But yes, of course we will be watching it. Jeff's debut as well, I think that's next week, is it? They said next week, so same story. AEW cannot be on a Thursday because it's NBA night on TNT. Okay. Why don't they do Tuesdays then? Is Tuesdays possible? They originally wanted it to be Tuesday night Dynamite, didn't they? AEW 10 because of Nyla Rose. NXT 5.7 out of 10. Okay. Days always reads the oddest comments. I've just got a gift. I've got a gift. The crowd sucked tonight on NXT. Got to admit that, but the matches were okay, says Kobe. He signed Cobb is not signed anywhere. Uno said, there are more than 4 of us, and we may be closer than you think, whilst we wait for the Exalted One to arrive. Oh, okay. So he didn't say it was Christopher Daniels then. I'm sure someone in the chat earlier said that Christopher Daniels had just been mentioned as the Exalted One. Whilst we wait for the Exalted One to arrive. Okay. Very cool. Thanks, C. What if Villain Enterprises saves Moxley? That would be very cool. That would be amazing. NXT is losing the ratings war, but it's not about who's first. I agree. NXT was amazing. Fair play. NXT needs to realize its mistakes. Days where you pay attention. Oh, I read that one. Swerve Jeff Cobb will turn on the Inner Circle. I hope so. That would be awesome. That would be cool. That would be cool. It doesn't make sense to add another person to the Inner Circle. So, I think you're right. Favorite match tonight? Favorite match tonight? Probably Nyla Rose against Rio. I'm not sure the match was the best. I thought SCU against Paige and Omega was very good. I think Cole Kishida probably disappointed me a little, to be honest. Good action, but I just, for some reason, just wasn't grabbing me. Dakota Candice was okay. Same with Johnny and Cameron Grimes, actually. It was okay. Yeah, probably. The Nyla Rose result, I think, is a big moment for AEW. I think taking the title off Rio, I understand there's Rio fans. I understand that. But they have faced a lot of criticism. And it could be seen as something that's really keeping people away from the product. So, yeah, I think it's a good move. Dakota Kai's boob popped. Wow, that's extreme. It put in her last match, so now she's covered. I didn't hear about that. I am happy whenever Jeff succeeds. There's any more word on Taynara Conti? No word at all. Last I heard, she had walked. And I can't imagine that's going to be looked on favourably by NXT. It's not a precedent that you really want to set or encourage, and I would struggle to see a way back for her, to be honest. So I think she's probably gone. The fans are winning the ratings war, says Melvin. I think you're right. Jeff Cobb could be the leader of the Dark Order. Jeff Cobb could be the arrival of the Exalted One. I don't know if Jeff Cobb kind of fits that role, to be honest. Do you think Rosa has a legit chance of winning an MMA title after watching her fight? Yes and no. There's a lot of MMA titles. If you're talking like UFC, I'd say no. Because I think that's a life that you have to live. I think you have to... I don't think you could be a pro wrestler doing dates in Japan and working tapings for NWA and doing NWA shows and also train to be, like, you know, a top-level MMA fighter. I would struggle to see how you could fit all of that in. But I think for the amount of work she does and from the performance, it was a good performance that she put in for her first MMA fight. So I feel like there's a lot of championships out there. There's a lot of different MMA companies. Could she work hard and be the face of one of the divisions out there? Yes, I do. I think she could. I think she could get some gold in MMA. I think she was very impressive, legitimately. So, but not in like Bellator or Strikeforce or UFC. I don't see her reaching that level. But hey, never say never. I'm certainly not someone that's going to ever doubt her. Next week's AEW is stacked. They've got the Tag Team Battle Royal, the Steel Cage, Jeff Cobb debut, tag title match. That's true. I like the Steel Cage. I like the Steel Cage match. You don't see those very often. That's definitely going to bring eyes to the product. So, yeah, I'd say NXT has got a black eye at the moment. I think AEW. I think NXT gave AEW a black eye around Survivor Series. Going into the new year, we didn't know how it was going to play out, but AEW came back from that, and now they've delivered a shot. And I think last week was, for me, the start of where it was like 50-50, and this week it's very clear that AEW is ahead. TNT has got NBA on a Tuesday. Matt Hardy will re-sign with WWE, says Anthony. and return to Jeff so they could beat Seth and Murphy. Patrick Bell says AEW women are going to get better. I'm giving NXT a 8.5, says Shay. It had exactly what it needed on the show before TakeOver. That's fair enough. SmackDown needs to step up its game. I agree with Tommy on that. She works for Stardom also, says Patrick. Who? Rosa. Thunder Rosa. Do you know? I don't know. I know she was in Japan and she won a championship over in Japan, but I don't think that was with Stardom. Could be wrong, but I don't think that was with Stardom. As I said, not sure. I'll take your word for it. Days, they can't do Dynamite on Tuesdays or Thursdays, NBA. Oh, okay. NBA. God, how much time does the NBA want? Just pick a day. Who's ready for SmackDown on Friday? Wow. Days, can you check out the call out of Joey Janela? I've retweeted you it on Twitter. I'll have a quick look. Matt Hardy will resign. We've read that one. Thank you, Wrestling Days. Thank you, C Wrestling. Not a chance in heck if this is one of the women's... Not a chance in heck if it is one of the women's UFC titles, yes. They've got some great champions, haven't they? Amanda Nunes and Shevchenko, and we've got the women's match coming up, haven't we, with Joanna, which is, it's early March, that one, isn't it? It's on the Adesanya card. Such good stuff going on at the moment. I was going to look at this, wasn't I? Days, can I what? NXT would be the biggest draw in wrestling if there wasn't 3 weekly WWE shows. AEW has got its core audience, but unless WWE has got a huge star, they can't compete. Well, they did beat them around Survivor Series when they were doing all of that Survivor Series build and the main rosters were coming in, then they were beating them. So you are right. When they do bring in the main roster stars, they do get the bump, they do get the push, they do get the casual fans watching NXT. I mean, yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It is hard. It's a real battle, but I do feel like this is the test that Triple H needed. Like, Vince managed to win the Monday Night Wars, and now Triple H, who we've all said, you know, is the future of the business. He's the person that we want to see take over Raw, take over SmackDown. Everyone wants to see Triple H replace Vince. He's got to get this done. Triple H needs to win this, otherwise it will be a black mark against his name. If he can't win this war, or at least do better in this war, then, as he said, it is a black mark. What is this? Some weird promo you've sent me? I don't know what that is. Charlotte will interfere and it'll be a 3-way at WrestleMania. Why is Roddy the face and Velveteen a heel? I don't think it is that way, to be honest, because Roddy slammed Velveteen off the top of one of the production trucks. So that meant that Velveteen was out for a long time. So Velveteen has been put on the shelf and has been injured by Roddy. So he's coming back now and he's going after Roderick Strong. He's going after the man that put him out for so long. So he's going after Roderick Strong. And Velveteen has always been cheeky. You know, Velveteen has been a heel in the past. So I don't think that he and what he's doing with the family and making it personal, I don't think that's Velveteen being a heel. I think that's him just being cheeky. I just think that's Velveteen kind of trying to fire some shots back after being put on the shelf by Roderick Strong. So I think Roderick Strong is not going into that match as the face. Even though you might look at it and think it is. Because Velveteen's obviously wearing his family. Because, of course, that's something that Ravishing Rick Rude used to do. Put images of the wives of his opponents onto his ring attire. And he was a heel. So I can see where you're getting that from. But I don't think it is that way. Days, I've got a gut feeling that Goldberg ain't gonna beat The Fiend at Super Showdown. I agree. Chalmers says NXT 6, AEW 8. I'd say they're fair scores, yeah. I'm in agreement. Days, we'll make a stream schedule. A stream schedule, where I jot down everything I'm gonna do. Yeah, I could drop that on Twitter. Just outside of tomorrow, every single day. So there we go. There's my stream schedule. When wrestling's on after tomorrow, I'm streaming. Finn Balor's deal is up this summer. There's rumours that Jay White could be coming to WWE SummerSlam weekend. Ooh, maybe that's why they've moved Kenta. Into the top position in Bullet Club. That makes sense. CM Punk will be John Cena's WrestleMania opponent. Rumour is he's pushing for it, says Anthony. I hope that's true. I wonder if they'll cover NYLA's win tonight on the news. Oh, Nyla's win. I was like, what's that? New York Lady Astros. I couldn't figure out what it was, but you mean Nyla Rose. This chat is a hot mess. Just like me. Days, next week we are getting Kenny and Hangman versus the Lucha Bros. Very cool. Will you be streaming backstage on Tuesday? Probably not, to be honest, because we did stream it last night. I was a bit disappointed with it. I do find that with backstage is they promise you the world and they rarely deliver. The show is normally very enjoyable to watch, but I don't know if it's like stream worthy. It's a hard thing to stream because it's just all promo. So you kind of have to sit, and obviously I normally have the sound down. And again, there's no action to watch or action to call, so it's a hard one to stream, to be honest. And unless there's going to be some kind of guaranteed reason to watch, like CM Punk's first appearance, no way we were missing that. The end of the year awards made sense to watch that. The match of the year special made sense to watch that. We watched last night because Steph was on. And it was like, ooh, Stephanie in the same room as CM Punk. That could be interesting. And then she wasn't in the same room. So, I kind of watched it last night and it was like, didn't go the way I wanted. We still had fun. Still really enjoyed that stream. I know Adam Rotella regards it as the best stream that he's seen. Which was a little bit disappointing because I think he enjoyed it because of the dog show beforehand, but nothing to do with wrestling. But that's why we haven't gone that way. We've got WPT, so I'm guessing this is the World Poker Tournament. That is cool. I might be watching some poker right now. Backstage was fun last night with Adam Rotella's dog. Yes, but I can't guarantee a dog show every week, my friend. Can't guarantee a dog show every week. Statlander versus Shayna versus Nyla. Days, please take some vitamin D. I think you need some. This is the NWA saying best stream ever. You're only saying that because one of the dogs look like you. I'm on to you. Can I just go back to that vitamin D comment as well? I did actually change how bright I've got a light right in front of me. And I did actually change the brightness of the camera, and it didn't look brilliant. I can't get it to look quite right. So I still need to mess around with it. because I do agree, looking at me, I do look ill. I look grey, but I don't think that's a fair reflection of how I actually look. I think I can't change saturation. I think if I could change saturation, I'd be a happy boy. I might try and do it now. Let's have a look now. What can I change? Right, let's mess around. Let's see. I can change contrast. What happens if I do that? Look at this! Black and white days. I can change brightness. Whoa! Look at this! That is weird. I want to... Oh, can I do Rambling Rabbit? Oh my god! This is the best! This is the best! Look, it's Marcy! It's Marcy the buzzard! Yeah, man. Mercy, man. This is the best! Right, what else can we do? Oh, look at that. Oh, wasn't that beautiful? Wasn't that beautiful? Oh, my God, I had no idea. Do you know what? I can try and... I'm going to try and practice things now and see if I can, like, make faces and things. I'm trying to wonder what I can actually do. I can't do anything. That's what I can do. I can't do anything. What is a puppet show? It is a puppet show. Can you imagine, right, when we... I know you can't see me right now, but I am still... Well, you can see me. Can you imagine, like, when we do the NWA podcast and we've got the countdown music and we do, like, all of the... Just imagine how powerful I can make that now that I know I've got this... I didn't know I had this ability. I had no idea. Days for Britain's Got Talent. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Right, hang on. I do need to say goodbye because we are 3 minutes over from the end. And I really do feel like this is a world that we can maybe... Hello. This is a world that we can maybe explore another time. So, yeah, that's... Well, look... I'm not streaming tomorrow, so I did, I was going to do some videos. I might not bother now. What I might actually do is really put some time into learning how to do some hand gesture puppet things, silhouette things. I want to do crocodile. That's what I want to learn. I want to learn crocodile. If I can, like, do silhouettes of, like, Rusev and Lashley and, well, I think we can all do silhouettes of... It does matter. Yeah, oh my God, we can have so much fun with that. We can have a lot of fun. Right, guys, we are done. Thank you so much for joining us. I really do appreciate it. You know that that's true. If you are watching and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe. Make sure you're joining us. I know these Wednesday streams are different. I just hope everyone knows they're different because... we don't get a chance to play around as much. We've got 2 shows to watch. And, the wrestling gets in the way. So, yeah, it is what it is. But we're back on Friday for a fun SmackDown stream. And even if the show's going to be a little bit awful, I'm sure we can still find a way of having a good time. So, thanks a lot for watching. Really do appreciate it. Hopefully, see you again next time. Bye for now.